Orange tea.
Hey, everybody. I'm Mike.
I'm Bob.
I'm Tim.
I'm Parker.
And welcome to Whiskey Wednesday. Board Game Rundown is in the house. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We have a special guest, designer and artist Parker Simpson of the upcoming game Crash Dash, hitting Kickstarter September 17th. Welcome, Parker.
Yeah, he's the trash man.
Trash man. Throws trash everywhere.
I love it. For those of you that don't know, the uninitiated, maybe, that don't know why Parker has named himself the Trash Man, it's because he has a super cute, very fun, and competitive and well-illustrated game, apropos of nothing, called Trash Dash, coming to Kickstarter very soon. Parker, tell us a little bit about yourself after my bad introduction.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. And actually, the Trash Man moniker was actually given to me by a child at a convention. They were so excited to get their parents to come back and play the game. I overheard them coming to the table like, Mom, we got to go see the Trash Man. We got to go see the Trash Man. And it just stuck because I was
that is wonderful.
Yeah,
that's how I need to be known. That's how I need to be known.
So be it.
Listen, I used to be known as the little guy with all the personality. The Trash Man is way better.
So huggable little weirdo.
Yeah, I kind of like huggable little weirdo. I'm going to hold on to that one. But if Trash Man was an option for those specific reasons, that would be one that I would.
Nicknames and friendship bracelets. If there's anything I've learned in life, it's that if a child gives you either one, you wear it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Very proudly too. So
right.
That's great.
But yeah, no. So I'm Parker Simpson. I am a digital illustrator and fresh new game designer. I've been doing the game design thing for about 2 years now. Started self-publishing under Shiny Pigeon Games is my little self-publishing company.
This one?
There it is.
Yeah, it's the shiny little pigeon flip.
Oh, that's why it's Shiny Pigeon. Just
but yeah, so I focus primarily on accessible games that can be played with just about anybody. I like to have the rule sets pretty streamlined and easy to grasp. But have enough strategic depth that people in the hobby sphere can still have a good time with. But yeah, so I do all the illustrations myself as well. So all of the critters in Trash Dash were personally designed and illustrated by me. So it's been a fun little journey into the sphere, and I'm super excited about kickstarting Trash Dash and actually getting it out to people. That's been my main project that I've been working on, and it's been a lot of fun.
I mean, go on, Mike.
I'll state the obvious and the less obvious. One, the art's adorable, and that alone should allow you to sell plenty of copies. The less obvious is that we have played it, and we will be launching a preview for this game, and it's a lot of fun. As you all know, I really enjoy racing games, so you had me there. But this really feels like Animal Mario Kart, and we had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, there is a lot of I'm going to mess with you. You're probably going to mess with me back. You get your little power-ups out of the trash can spaces. So yeah, that's awesome because that tends to be the comparison that some people make, and it always makes my heart really happy because that was a large inspiration.
I really enjoyed those asymmetrical player powers. I thought they felt different and fun, and you got to do a lot of stuff with them. So
yeah. I wanted each of the characters to kind of have a little bit of. They've got their personality and stuff in the artwork, but I wanted to kind of reflect that in their little special powers and stuff. So.
And they're even double-sided, so they each have 2 powers, so 12 different powers.
Ooh, look at that. And that is coming from a professional artist right there. So
fellow artist designer right there.
Yeah. Now, Mike kind of spoiled it already, but, we came out of that video really, really positive. How's your feedback been in general to the game? Everybody seemed...
Yeah, over the last year, it's been very positive. In the early stages, obviously, there was a lot of playtesting, really ugly versions. really broken versions.
Sure.
We used to use the phrase "possum always wins" because I had a lot of difficulty with balancing the player powers.
Gotcha.
So making sure that everybody's on like a even playing field. But yeah, it's been overwhelmingly positive. I've done a lot of in-person shows this year. I've done Tantrum Con, Mythic Con. Friend of mine, Kim Breeze, friend of the show.
Oh yeah,
she had it at Origins with her.
Yep.
And I
was
just
our first one.
did Southern Fried Gaming as well over in Atlanta. So that was a lot of in-person events, a lot of really great feedback from folks, and super excited to see the support coming from everybody.
I think Kim was Kim was actually the one that put us in touch, I believe.
Yep.
She's like, hey, you got to check out my friend Parker's game. It's amazing.
Yeah, Kim
Sure
is. I call her my board game fairy godmother because all of my connections in the board game field have in one way or another come through Kim Breeze. So.
There are, luckily, this is a hobby and an industry with people like her, that flutter around from group to group and convention to convention, and they are just awesome human beings and just do everything they can to help promote and shine a light on the independent and smaller publishers that really actually deserve a lot of the attention that Simon and Asmodee and everybody else gets that don't need it.
Great ambassador to the hobby.
Yeah,
absolutely. Let's say hi to a few other people. Speaking of designers, we got Evan Halbert in the house, of course. Our fan 1A, Andrew, is in the house as well.
Yep.
And Jim did ask if it was okay to go ahead and start drinking whiskey, which is the perfect time to ask you guys what you're drinking.
I'll go first. Again, I'm still hitting off that bottle of Indiana whiskey that I got from the fine people at Indiana Whiskey. I actually need to email that gentleman and see about them coming on and hanging out with us for a night and doing a list.
That'd be awesome.
But yeah, this is made in my hometown. Born and raised, made in South Bend, Indiana. I as much as like I don't really brag about being from Indiana and like, oh, it's amazing. I do love it here. So it's I'm still here.
It's hit or miss. It's hit or miss. There's definitely some good things I love about it, but there's some things that we need to get in the 21st century about.
Well, sure. We are in Indiana.
Yeah.
But
just recently got licked booze on
Sundays. Yeah, just in the last 5 years. Gotta love the blue laws.
Yeah.
But we lived close to Michigan, so it didn't matter. We could always drive up to Michigan.
Right.
And there's some people that still need to drive to Michigan for things.
Yep.
But anyways.
I'm still on my Maker's Mark. So I go to Costco for my Maker's Mark, so I get, by the gallon.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Mike?
Parker, you have okay. Well, I guess, I'm drinking a version of Maker's Mark. It's the French Oaked or number 46.
Oh, nice.
This is actually my favorite. That's not the high dollar private barrel type stuff.
Right.
Very, very good flavor on this.
Are your hands really small or is that bottle huge?
My hands are very small.
Okay, just checking.
That can actually be an advantage sometimes.
There's nothing wrong with the size of the hands. Okay. Great hands.
The best hands anybody's seen.
Hands.
Yeah. All right, Parker, what do you got?
I am just on some Yukon Jack mixed with some cherry seltzer water. So I'm not a huge drinker, so I'd
nothing wrong with that.
Not super.
Me either until I joined Whiskey Wednesday.
Yeah.
That is optional, but definitely appreciate you jumping on the bandwagon.
Oh yeah, I figured win in Rome and drink.
That's
some
right.
whiskey.
Exactly.
That's right. Which is weird because Bob spent all day thinking about the Roman Empire. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, all day.
Yeah. I don't know. That was a joke I never got, but whatever.
Obviously, you being a designer artist has led us to a topic today that you picked. So I'm very curious to see who you picked as your favorite board game artist.
Yeah, there's so many to choose from. It was both very difficult to narrow it down, but at the same time, there's so many talented artists and stuff out there. So it was a fun list to kind of compile, and I do have several honorable mentions that if we don't get to them, we just plug those at the end. That would be great.
We're going to use an old tactic to try to spread the love. So we're unlike board games where there's hundreds of thousands now. There's I'm sure thousands of artists, but like as far as the well-known ones, there's a much smaller sample size to choose from. I'm expecting crossover. So when that happens, I'm just going to switch something out. I'm going to be like, yep, good pick. Let me talk about this person instead.
I'm pretty sure I've got 2 on my list that are definitely going to be crossovers just from the breadth of their work, but also their popularity in general. So be interesting.
I expect 1 or 2.
I took a completely different angle just to avoid crossover. So I
didn't pick any artists at all.
I picked no artists. I went all AI. I just wrote AI for everything. Just kidding.
The robot.
Everybody will love that.
Yeah, that way this video is not controversial at all. No one has any, strong feelings about it.
The viewers just dropped.
Don't worry, it's gonna spike, and they'll all have pitchforks and torches soon. It's cool. Good. No, I actually found a bunch of artists from games that I like that I don't think they've done other artwork, right, for other games. So like, maybe they've done some comic books or, some different things here and there, but like they did some artwork for a game and I love the artwork in this game so much. So I want to highlight these artists for the artwork that they did on these particular pieces, because yes, I wanted to avoid crossover, right? There's plenty of names we could all blurt out that could be on anybody's list and should be. So I kind of went left field with it just to not have crossover. I guarantee I won't have any crossover. So
I'm curious. You said a comic book artist, which kind of actually falls into the category of one of my.
So sweet.
I will laugh. Parker, awesome. if you get Tim's hipster pick and steal it out from underneath him, I don't know, I'll find some prize and give it to you.
That'd be
fantastic. But anyways, because some of these, it's this industry, right? It's hard to, especially if you have like a team of artists, there's definitely people that have worked on like multiple kinds of things, right? And so maybe they were brought in to, just tighten up some of the design work. Maybe they only did a few cards in the game, things like that. Right. But a couple of them I know were comic book artists. But anyways.
I found, so coming up with this list, this was very, very different than coming up with a board game list because I log all my plays. I just go to BG stats and I could just scroll through that and I can come up with, 15 game names pretty quick. But when it comes to artists, it's different. It is different. There was a different amount of research that went into this. It wasn't just going to BGG because BGG is not even that reliable. We talked about this slightly in that there could be 6 artists mentioned on one game, and at no point does BGG tell you this person did the cover, this person did the player boards, this person did the main board. That's not there. And so sometimes you have to go to that artist's socials or their ArtStation pages to figure out what they're actually credited for. So there was a lot more research for me that went into this list than maybe anyone we've done in a long time.
Well, I'm glad to have made you do your homework then. That's exciting.
Yeah, we're really upset for you making us work. Shame on you.
And it's not like I came up with a ton of names that people haven't heard of. I still was very subjective with this list. Like, these are my favorites, but I did want to find a few deep cuts and some that maybe aren't as well known. So.
What was cool about when I was doing my research is that, I went upstairs, I looked at board games, I enjoy the art. And then I went on BGG, looked up all the artists, and then I would go to their page. And some of the artists that I like the stuff they did for the games, I would see their other artwork. And I was like, yes. I was like, there's a reason I like this person because so much other stuff they did is just right up my alley. And I'm so that was pretty awesome. I'm glad I dipped my toe in that. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully you dipped all 5 toes, Bob, because you're going to have to come up with at least 5 artists.
Yeah. Well, at least it's not 10 at the spur of the moment here, Like if
Oh,
Mike
we
likes
could
to do
do
this,
it.
like, hey, let's do
I've
the top
got
5.
10.
Cool. All right. So what was your number 10? Wait, what?
Whoops.
Yeah.
I did that one time, and you
Start
saw the
numbering my honorable
thumbnail the
mentions.
day before. Oh
Uh-huh.
wow, Andrew remembered we're streaming. Hi, Andrew.
What's up,
Oh, hey,
Andrew?
Andrew.
He's
So,
also on
quick
our
question, are you
channel,
wearing sleeves?
so we have to give him a hard time when he remembers we're streaming.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
worry.
he always like, hey,
Nobody
you guys
else
don't
on the
play
show
board games
actually
on
supports it.
Wednesday? It's like yes, but also no.
All right. So you have that was weird. I got a delayed removing the comment thing there.
Uh-oh.
So you heard our list. Our topic is our top 5 board game artists. Are we ready to jump into this thing?
I jump in it.
Might as well.
Okay. Are we gonna go clockwise, start with Bob and end with me?
Since you like to go last, I assume that's the way we're going to go.
Alrighty then. I guess we start with Bob's number 5.
I'm gonna apologize in advance for the pronunciation on some of these names.
Oh, dude, for sure.
See if I can help you out there. Hey, Rob.
Winston Charles, you are fine. So anytime I talk about art in board games, these games come up all the time because I love the art in Scythe and in Expeditions.
Mm-hmm.
So Jacob rolled.
Yeah, he's watching. He's watching.
He's watching. Don't mess it up now. No pressure. Rosalski?
Yep. It might even be Jakob.
Yeah, but it's fantastic. I love those mechs. I love that wispy like look to them where it looks like it's almost like a haze going by. And I love all that art. And he was the sole credit on those games. So I'm imagining he did all of it. And it's fantastic. Like it's like I said, it's one of my favorite arts on a board game. Anytime we talk about, just it's not just artists specifically, but just board game art, that one always comes up. So I had to mention him. And he's my number 5.
Yeah, great pick, Bob. This was an honorable mention for me. And one of the amazing things about Rosalski's art is that this game was designed around his art. So he saw this art randomly and decided, I want to make a board game out of that.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yep.
The other thing I want to note is that from a distance, you go, okay, wow, those are mechs and those are people and those are farmland. But this is one of my favorite styles of impressionism where he doesn't actually draw the people. He just draws different shapes that create what looks like people. And I really like that style.
Yeah. Like I wish I was a writer and I could write a story about some of these people, like, going through, their times and tribulations and whatnot in this world. Like I feel like that lends itself really well to that. And I think it'd be a great story.
Yeah, most of the games that pull you in like that with the large amount of world building, they definitely give you that desire to just make up those stories for yourself. Because like, especially if they don't come with any sort of backstory, like you get connected to these characters, and it's hard not to do that.
Yeah,
I will say there is some controversy in regards to the Scythe artwork.
Oh yes, let's hear it.
Like heavily referencing to the point where people have accused him of tracing, which is, I don't know enough about it to really say, but I did want to bring that up just in case there's any viewers who want to chime in on that know a little bit more.
Now my AI picks all seem less controversial. They're still terrible. They're all still terrible and way worse.
Yeah.
I have read some of those Reddit threads, and
it's hard to know.
There are specific scenes that definitely look reminiscent of previous artwork.
Yeah,
it is.
You
hard
do have to give him
deny
credit
that.
though. Like it is phenomenal work, like in general, and like the amount of detail and like passion that he puts into it. Like you can tell that like this artwork is made by somebody who deeply cares about creating it.
Yeah, and I think there's a really tough line in Park. I don't know because I'm not an artist. I'm terrible. I am only barely capable of tracing and stick people. Right. So many stick people. So, but like, I can see though where if you take something, you're inspired by something and you enhance, you build upon it, you know what I mean? You kind of, I don't want to say build upon it sounds like you're tracing and drawing over and,
Sure.
but maybe you're recreating, but you're doing your own thing with it. Like I was inspired by this landscape and then I added the mechs and everything.
Right.
It's definitely open for debate. I don't know that there's a right or a wrong if he is actually guilty of what he's accused of. But I mean, if you're looking at a landscape and you paint a landscape, even if you paint a landscape from a painting, and then you add your own things to it to give it its own theme and style and vibe.
Sure.
I don't know where that falls in the is that cool or not cool.
Yeah, definitely not to have brought up like controversy on literally the first pick. So like I said, I don't know enough about this specific case, but I can speak to using references as an artist.
Sure.
Because like artists don't have this perfect picture of something in their mind. Like you have to build upon things that you've seen, things that you've learned about, and using references heavily is just part of making realistic or meaningful artwork. So if you want to draw, the best thing to do is to look at pictures of work. I think the issue with this specific case was people were saying that he's identically like over specific lines and shapes. But again, using references in general is like that's just part of being an artist.
Yeah. Like you took how many pictures of Mike did you look at to draw the trash cans in Trash Dash? I mean,
spitting image. It's like you
No, that's true. And did you literally trace Tim for Penelope the possum?
Penelope.
Very attractive.
No, Penelope's way better looking than this.
Yeah.
He definitely improved upon.
Well, talking about drawing over landscapes, on TikTok, there's a guy who goes to like Goodwill and things like that. He takes old paintings and then he'll like add a Star Destroyer in the sky. Ad or something, blowing something up. And to me, that's still art. I'm like, yeah, okay, he's trading.
For sure.
It's definitely art, but it becomes a dual credit, I think, at that point, right?
Sure. Okay, and that's I could get that. Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, that's my opinion. I don't know, but
sure.
The tough part is the person who originally painted that, or maybe it got mass produced off of something of theirs. Does that? I mean, if that guy sells it for a bunch of money, is that cool? Because he necessarily didn't have the consent, or whatever. But if you're just doing it for yourself, you just do whatever the hell you want to it.
Right. Wasn't selling for a bunch of money, but then he added something cool to it and made it worth more money.
Right.
That's hard because it comes into like this weird abstract esoteric like conversation space that is probably for people who are much more enlightened than at least I am.
Oh yeah, I'm not nearly well read enough on the subject to have a really good opinion or an educated opinion.
I just like to draw critters. Like that's
I can dig it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Man, we peaked early, Bob, because none of the other games are going to have this in-depth of conversation.
Get ready for a 6-hour live stream.
Unless I accidentally picked all AI games by, like, oh, shit. Like, what have I done?
No surprise from a guy named Timbot. But yeah, great pick just as far as a game, too. I still love Scythe. It's still in my top 10. It was my first big Kickstarter I backed. It's a phenomenal game. And Jacob's art was one of the reasons I was interested in it in the first place.
That and the dual layer player boards. That's what had me.
Yeah, they were pioneering that before anybody else.
Yep. Yeah. And like, I don't know if you saw, I probably didn't see last week's episode, but You Had Me app, dual layer player boards is one of my, was my number one.
Yeah.
Love a dual layer player board.
Nice. Yeah. Anything that Stonemeyer puts out is just
top notch.
Beautiful.
Speaking of world building with his art, there is of course I'm gonna forget the name. There's an RTS based on the Scythe world.
Iron Harvest.
Yeah,
Iron Harvest. Thank you. I've played it a bit. Even it's fun. Yeah, if you like RTSs, it is. It's a pretty fun game, and it's got all the different factions and
Yeah, all the
Polania
different
and the
mechs. They have like
Rustian.
a paper
They
rock
have
scissor things
different
going on. Like
mechs.
certain mechs are good against other mechs, and
They do different
that's
types
neat.
of combat. It's pretty
they're
interesting.
sweet to
Yeah,
watch walk around and stuff too. So
for sure.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, as far as somebody that can create a world out of his art, yeah, you made a good
Yep.
pick with
Geez, Mike,
Rozalski for
that
sure.
picture
For
took
sure.
like it looked like you're on dial-up. It's like
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I did not speed test.
That's
I
just how
maybe
good the
should have
artwork
rebooted.
is.
That's right.
Mine
It
just can't keep up.
just takes too long to load up. That's right.
All right.
I know I could go through his art like literally all day. It's so good. It's so cool. This one's great, man. I don't know what this stuff is from. This is obviously from his ArtStation account here, but man, this one's really cool. A
So
werewolf with reindeer in the background. I'm just gonna get mesmerized by looking at the art on some of
Yeah,
these, so
right.
you'll have to pardon me. Like I just
So do we just want to come back tomorrow when Mike's done looking at the art and we can just finish the list?
Yep. All right. Well, we'll see you guys.
yeah.
That was
Yep.
cool.
All right. Later, guys. I'm gonna reboot my dog out. All right.
All right, Tim, go ahead.
Okay, so mine is not gonna, I don't think, spark near the conversation that Bob's did. Also, like Bob's, I am going to mispronounce this artist's name because it's tough. But for me, though, art in a board game, while not always crucial, I do like to have my cake and eat it too. I do love it when a game has great art and theme, and the gameplay is really fun. And if the art can bring you into that universe and really give you that vibe, like if I can look at the art and like hear the game, you know what I mean? It's like I can hear this picture. Those kind of things really jive with me and really grab me and pull me in. Where maybe if you just told me the theme, I may not be as interested. This one I would have totally been interested, but the art definitely grabbed me. And it's the art for Vagrant Song. And the artist's name, I am so sorry, Nguyen My Diem.
Might have to have me help you out with some
Yeah.
of these.
Go. Yeah, good luck, Mike. Please say it better than me. Nguyen My Diem.
Yeah, Nguyen is how you pronounce
That's
it.
what I thought.
You got it. Nguyen My Diem. I think you got it.
As far as I know, this artist has only ever also worked on like Malifaux stuff, but the it's that 20s, like again, we're still in the Bob, we're on theme. We're like 1920s, just different kinds of stuff. But I love that old school like animation style, like it's
rubber hose.
Yeah, it's rubber hose without being too Cupheady though.
Right.
Because it's not like too over the top, but it kind of still gives you that vibe. But then you're like, oh, it's hobos on a ghost train. Like, hell yeah. Like this is like that theme is crazy. But then you look at it and you're like, yeah. And it just really, the theme and the art really transports me into the theme of this game and really gets me into the vibe. And I can just hear like that piano music that goes along, with those old timey cartoons. I'm a cinephile and I love old weird, stuff. And this again just pulls me right into that. And, like I look at these things and I can hear it. You know what I mean? Like I see these things and I'm really drawn into it. And it's like, again, it's like rubber, but like, look how tight that art is. I mean, it's really good. But really on theme. And then the color choices are really good. It gives you sort of that sepia tone, but with little bits of color that like actually make it pop.
Too far in.
But
Tim likes old and weird, which explains our friendship a lot.
Yes. So Brandon, that you actually nailed it, and I couldn't even say that. Like I couldn't put my finger on it. But yes, Max Fleischer. I actually have a Felix the Cat tattoo because I love Felix the Cat. And yes, 100% that is the Felix Cat vibe.
He
right
can't
there.
show us where it's at though, because then we would get banned from YouTube.
Well, it's OnlyFans. It goes behind the paywall.
Yeah.
But go on, Parker. Sorry.
I would say I did want to actually bring up one of my honorable mentions. It's one of my indie friends who has a very similar like that rubber hose like 20s look. I'm also going to butcher his name, unfortunately, but it's David Vionsek.
Okay.
He just recently worked on a game that's on Kickstarter now called Divide and Conquer.
Okay.
It's about like potatoes. It's really weird.
Nice.
I just sent over a link to his Instagram if you wanted to check that out real quick.
I love a wild theme, especially if it's got cool art. So I can't wait to take a look at it.
The standees were cool.
But those standees are bitching. Vagrant Song is a cool game anyways. I love difficult co-ops, but the theme is amazing. And the art just pulls you in, you know. And again, art is so subjective, right? So there's some people are going to see that and go, I hate that. Meh. And they're not going to, you know, it's just not going to do for them what it does for me. But for me, it pulls me in and I love it. But
yeah, especially for the people who do like that sort of thing, like seeing that like novelty style, like the people who do like it are going to really like it.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. And it's funny because none of the other art on my list is like this. Like I'd like to think they're all kind of unique styles. But anyways, Vagrant Song. I was waiting for Parker to be like, so did you not hear about the controversy behind this artist? Like, oh no.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Well, you know, I love it. No, I'm here for it.
Chat GPT was invented because of this game. Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
The simplicity of the board is just because you use the board to set up a bunch of different scenarios. So you're laying out things that actually will spice up the board a bit. And yeah, Nick's glad you like it as well. But it's definitely a unique theme, a unique vibe. Not necessarily going to be for everybody, but for me, 100%, like I'm here for it.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's an overly difficult co-op, but you know, it could be challenging.
I think that you get further in and it gets a little harder,
Sure.
But yeah,
we didn't get super.
The first couple we smoked it, but we're also good at co-ops.
Yeah, very cool style. And this is the friend of Parker's that he was talking about.
Oh yeah, I can dig it.
Cool.
And I can see why you thought of it. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the artists who can pull that off, they really pull it off. And just, I don't know, something about that style is, it's not something that I could ever like figure out how to get into. The people who can do it it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
I can't do any art.
Yeah,
style.
this one specifically I like a lot.
I love that Medusa too. She's really
this
cool.
one's amazing.
Yeah. I love that. And again, I like that kind of music as well. So, you know, like that 20s jazz, like Cab Calloway, you know, like kind of stuff. Like it's just, I just love it. So
thank you guys for
thanks for sharing that,
everybody
Parker.
to smash the thumbs. And yeah, thank you for that suggestion. This is a very cool piece right here. You should be sorry. Just kidding.
So
she's here every week. I have to give her crap.
So now I'm waiting for Parker to show us all up with his amazing pick. No pressure.
Oh, so my number 5 is probably going to be pretty fresh in everybody's mind because he just dropped a massive Kickstarter that was insanely successful. But so yeah, my number 5 pick is actually an artist and a game designer, Judson Cohen of Tetix Games. He just recently dropped Deep Regrets.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know the name until you said Deep Regrets. And then I'm like, I
don't know it. Mama Mike, get on it.
I got you. I'm already
he's one
there.
of the one of those mythical designers and artists that I kind of look up to as like an aspiring designer and artist.
Hey, you've done it.
Well, I'm working on it. but yeah, no, he hand inks all of his illustrations before he colors them digitally. But the game is just gorgeous. Like it's got all this creepy, like weird fish and everything. But there's like, it's like 100+ unique fish that you can fish for and uncover. Yeah,
130
super beautiful game. He's got like that very, it's almost unsettling because of like the style mixed with the content. But it works. Yeah. I think the Kickstarter page shows a pretty good there's a lot of them. Yeah. Really creepy stuff.
Well, Parker, I don't know if you know this about him, but apparently he's been accused. No, I don't know.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, I've been following him for a while. His previous game, Hideous Abominations, it's like a tile laying thing where you like put together like weird creatures. So it was cool to see him launch this one to such critical success. I think they just wrapped up the Kickstarter last month or so. But
yeah,
Rots and Rot.
It did really well.
Mhm.
Also, yeah, this is pretty cool too.
Yeah,
I
I
love
love
it.
the hand with the mouth. That reminds me of an old anime I used to watch all the time. I can't remember. Vampire Hunter D, I think it was. He had a little mouth in the hand, and he was like talk to him and stuff and have arguments with his hand.
Oh, animes.
Yeah, good pick. This Kickstarter for Deep Regrets did really well, and his art
I
is
like his
fantastic.
dice.
Yeah, one of the things I like the most about that game is he's got can't remember the specific terms, but there are fish that are real fish, and then there's like fantasy fish, and they're like denoted on the cards of like which ones are actually real and which ones are
nice.
That's cool.
like mythical creatures. Yeah, he's got a wild
Mythical
imagination.
now, but give it a few years and some radiation, you never know.
Right.
Mutations are good, Bob.
Mutations are good. They pull some
not
weird
all
stuff
mutate.
out of the ocean. I watched some YouTube videos that'll blow your mind.
I'm always worried that they're fake, and I don't want to believe some of the weird things that they pull because
my
it's
gosh.
like, is that real? I mean, it's probably real, but you're a dummy if you're like, oh my god, that's real, and then you're like, no, it isn't, because then Parker comes on and is like, well, actually, it's
well, if y'all watched his the video, like the trailer for Deep Regrets, he actually made some of those like creepy looking fish and like hand glued like eyeballs and stuff all over. They look wild. They look like something that you would get in like a like an oddities place where they've got like the jackalope with antlers and stuff. And be like, ooh, this is the Thousand Eyes fish.
Yeah. I think if you offer some of them as like plushies for the little Kickstarter.
You know what? I've decided I don't like this person because they've got too much talent, and it explains why I didn't get any is because they're hogging all of the talent.
They ran out. By the time they got to Tim, they were all like, well, we don't have any talent left. So
we've got all we've got in this is like a big nose and short. Okay, you get those. Huggable little weirdo. Oh, we got a weirdo in here. Okay, we'll throw a little bit out of there. Yeah, thanks, Seppi. Seppi gave me my favorite nickname. I don't know if you know Seppi Yoon, but Seppi.
Oh yeah, he's a madman.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah,
I love him.
He'll be back on someday soon. All
right,
all
right. It's Mike's turn.
All right, I suppose it's my number 5. Not all of these picks are going to be hipster picks. Some of them are well-known artists because they make amazing art, and I'm not going to deny that 5 times in a row. And that is why everybody knows the wonderful artwork of Quan Chi Maria. This guy has made so many incredible pieces, and that's why he keeps getting his art on the cover of all these awesome games. I love his use of color. You know, like some of these just like really pop just with different shades. He's got a lot of different styles that he even does sometimes. Like I thought this one was pretty good at fitting like the 1950s sort of theme that Food Chain Magnet was going
almost
for.
looks like Vincent Dutrait art.
Yeah, and it looks
and I mean that as a compliment.
Some of his other stuff. Apiary cover is
that
so
game
good.
was on my short list of games I like the art on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Great.
I mean, even Predator, right? Like such a different style of art and vibe, you know, compared to you know everything else. If you would have put all those in front of me and said this is one artist, true or false, I would have been like false.
Right. The art on Zoobotus is way better than the gameplay.
Oh,
snap. I love the art on this game.
Snap. That is great art for sure.
Yeah, I love the art is great.
That is a game I would buy based on the cover.
Yeah.
And then
I
heard
look at it, but having played it, I probably wouldn't buy it.
And not all of us liked Empire's End, but
Nope.
he illustrated that one too.
Oh yeah, it's great artwork.
Yep.
Great artwork.
I'm not even to my favorite ones.
Oh geez. Well, come on, Mike.
We're gonna
It's
keep
a
going. I know
2-hour
we're
show.
just at the top. I know. There's so many though. Like all
yeah.
the Mountain King box covers, amazing.
Hey, we know the designer of that game.
Yeah,
We do.
much better game than Alien. So you've been eating
Dinosaur
nice.
World cover.
You know what's funny? Not for Dinosaur World, but So You've Been Eaten. I literally almost looked up the artist for that because I was like, that could have been on my list because I love that box cover so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Quan Chai is a little bit further up on my list as well. So we'll swap him out when we get to that one. But he has one of my personal favorite covers in all of board games, which is going to be weird, but it's the Kabuto Sumo.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
It's
Mike just passed it. Kabuto Sumo. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, one with the like little beetle wrestler guys.
Yeah.
So cool. Like his command of color and like those really vibrant jewel tones that you see throughout all of them, like the deep jewels and like the rich like oranges and stuff. Like he has such a good command of color theory. And then his shape language that he uses, it's just, he is one of the ones that like I look up to in the sense that like that is such a refined focus on the way that he creates things that it's just, it's in a different league. And that's why he has like dozens of games under his belt. Like that's,
yeah, I mean, that is someone that is clearly like in command. So Mike, click on So You've Been Eaten. Like again, like the color contrasts, like you know what I mean? Like the design, right? Because the person is like inside the maw of the thing. You know, I don't know, just like all the depth and the layers and the levels of it. I don't have the education to use the correct terminology like Parker did, but
I like art.
Yeah, it looks
good. That's
good.
real good.
I sure do like that game box.
I was gonna say the problem I think is that like some of the games that I've played, I didn't care for, but I do enjoy like all this art I'm seeing. Like I like that art, the cryptid art, very cool, right? But I don't enjoy the game. And it's like
I have cryptid, I haven't played it yet. Oh no,
games I like, and do art for those. So, yeah,
I have Trash Pandas.
Taurus Maximus.
That's a good one.
Here's one I bought almost exclusively because of the art. Not entirely. It was Trick Taking that's based on old Coliseum arena combat, and it has this art. I love the art in this game.
Yeah, that art is fantastic. I haven't played the game, but the art looks fantastic.
That game is fun.
Look at the little dog.
Just a trick-taking game, but the art is just so good.
The thing I love about this topic, I feel like I'm going to learn so much about artists that I didn't know. And that it's like this guy, like I'm like looking at all these titles, like I mean, like Empire's End. You guys didn't like it, I liked it, but there's some games that I do like, and it's like this guy did all of this art. Like,
hey, listen, my gripe about Empire's End was not the artwork. That's for damn sure. That game's beautiful.
Right. Yeah.
If you actually roll down to like the bottom of this page, he has some of his like traditional media, like all of these that are like actually hand painted. Like it just shows that he's on like that different level.
Yeah, no doubt.
Being able to achieve those vibrancies is
wow.
Look at that. That's so good.
Yeah. Very cool. Sweet.
Yeah, it's really good. And there's one I
need to get Alex Ross to do a board game because that's one of my favorite comic book artists, and I would love to see a board game with all of his art.
Is it? Oh, it's So You've Been Cursed. It's currently on Kickstarter, so it wasn't in his portfolio. This one as well.
I believe it is the same design team, right? As So You've Been Eaten.
It was Scott Holmes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's great.
You know, we talked about you had me at, and you would pick a game up and look at it. I would pick that game up and look at it because of that art.
Yeah.
Sometimes the cover does sell a game, like, and you get it home and you're like, man, this game is terrible, but damn, does that look good on the shelf?
Hell yeah! And there's games where, we won't make an artist be on this list unless you really wanted to, but we should do a worst art box art for games. We won't, like I said, we won't. We don't have to have like a designer on there to like crap on somebody else's art.
You're gonna ruin lives.
But you totally could. We got torched. We've gotten torched before for criticizing box art in reviews.
Yeah. And we ever say like, oh, the game is great, but the box art's kind of
The box art is the reason why it took me 3 years to play this game, is because I never wanted to.
Yeah. Well, it's tough. Like you were saying earlier with the Vagrant Song one, like art is subjective to an extent.
100%.
So, like some things work for people that don't work for other people, and it's hard to judge based off of like a standard of quality because everybody has like a different standard of what they want to see.
Yes.
So like I can totally get that. Like if you have negative opinions of something, there's always going to be people who are like, oh well, that's art's just subjective. And it's like,
right.
Well,
I mean, we get the same stuff anytime, and we don't do like a ton of negative reviews. Like we just don't like doing them. But like if somebody has some not awesome things to say about a game, we tend to get a lot of pushback on those by the people who are really excited about that game. And again, I'm really sorry we gave Trash Dash such a bad review. Just kidding.
I mean, it's okay. It's garbage.
It's just garbage. Man, that was a missed opportunity. I don't think any of us in the video said this game is garbage. This game is trash in the best way possible.
Wow.
Oh, missed opportunity.
We're gonna redo it.
Yeah.
So, in all honesty, Quan Chai could have moved up my list, but I wanted to highlight other people that don't have as big of a portfolio as he has. He's amazing.
He was my number 3. He was my number 3. If you couldn't tell,
realistically,
yeah.
I would have put him at 2 or 3, but if it wasn't other people I want to talk about, but everybody knows him, so
sweet.
Yeah,
there you go. He's awesome. All right, we are on to number 4, and I'll be right back.
Okay, Bob. So what secret Nazi did you pick as your number 4 pick? Like we've got to like have a controversial spin on you.
You know, Hitler was an artist.
Oh boy.
He was.
He wasn't much of a secret. No.
So was John Wayne Gacy, but not good, right?
My favorite painter is George W. Bush.
There we go. Yeah, now we're steering way clear of controversy.
Anyway. Well, it's unfortunate Mike went away because I did send him the link to this already. But my number 4 is Mr. Cuddington.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Cuddington. So Mike heard that. Good. So you can bring up that link I sent.
He's really good.
So I looked
again,
up
art for games that I don't love.
Yeah. So I looked up Brass, and apparently that credit was Lena Cosset. And then her and her husband, David Forrest, created Mr. Cuddington, which is like an art design team. And they have done a ton of things. Brass and Tidal Blades, Steampunk Rally, Iridia, Grim Forest, like a bunch of games I really enjoy the art on. And so,
a few games you like.
Yeah, and actually games I actually like.
A few.
I mean, Forest is a little simple for my taste, but all those.
Yeah, I think I just got rid of mine finally.
What's that?
I think I finally got rid of my Grim Forest. I had it for ages, and I let it go.
That cover, not so much. The other cover with the dude with the top hat and the pipe.
I just real quick wanted to show the board because the board for this game is so good.
As well.
You should
go to that link I sent you, Mike, because it has
a serious glow up from
their ArtStation account.
Yeah.
Yes. I gotta help. This one here is probably one of my favorite box covers. Yep. It's so deep and dark and moody. I love this box cover.
I love it. It reminds me of the what was that movie with the dude from Gangs of New York? There Will Be Blood. It reminds me of There Will Be Blood. Like I feel like what's that guy's name? Tim,
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
I'm just not stepping on your toes, man. I'm just letting you go.
But it reminds me of him, and like I just think that art is fantastic.
I mean, it could just be, it looks like Daniel Day-Lewis from Gangs of New York. I mean, he kind of looks the same as he does in There Will Be Blood.
Because, like, I like this one, right? And so then I went to the Mr. Cuddington art page that I sent to Mike, and holy cow, it was just full of so much art that I really enjoyed that I was like, yes, it has to be on my list. I have to call them out. Like, because Tidal Blades, I didn't, like, care for the board and the game quite so much. I really enjoyed the art on it, and they just a slew of art that I loved, and so yeah,
the art
like
for
the-
Tidal Blades is so good. That game was a
I-
letdown for me, but the artwork it's just a stunning game.
Yeah.
The
There's certain
sense
games
of
that I'm
depth.
I'm super jealous of because like I normally don't play something if it's longer than like 60 to 90 minutes. That's kind of my cap. So like
Yeah.
there are games like Tidal Blades where it's like just gorgeous, and I would love to have it on my shelf, but I would never get it on the table. Like,
Oh, sure.
Regardless of if it's a great game or not. Like I personally that's not my
The
thing.
sense of
Can you
depth
just
that
scroll
they
down, Mike?
create. Yeah, I'm just kind of going big here. So I got to go back and then I can scroll down.
because there
'Cause
was
it's
like
just
the
gonna
page
do it
that I
by
had,
game.
like it just had like 20,
I know.
30.
I got to go back. I got to go back.
Go back.
You got to
Jeez
go back,
Louise.
Bob.
They sent
gotta
you the
go
page
back,
for a
Bob.
reason. You know?
Yes, this is
Oh,
the
boy.
page. But
There
I was
you
highlighting
go.
specific ones.
There you go. Yeah, scroll
Look
that.
at that frog.
There's
Those
sense of
characters are
depth
so
in
good.
all of
Yeah, the
these
characters are
is
good. Like
insane.
why you guys click on it? Scroll.
So you can get details, Bob.
Oh,
Isn't that
boy.
what you look at art for? to
No,
look at
that's
the
not what he.
details of it?
Mike, he asked you to do a simple thing, and you've not been able to accomplish that thing.
You just wanted to see
The
the giant
discard
turtle.
pile, Mike. The discard pile. Sorry to reference an earlier conversation, but geez Louise. But yeah, there's so many like scenic pictures and like the monsters coming out and
Mike, don't you dare click on one you like. Don't you do it.
I will never click on
scrolling.
anything again.
Don't you dare highlight a nice
Just
piece of
be on my
artwork so that people can see it better. Don't you
Thank you.
dare.
But yeah,
Sorry,
like
Parker.
Santorini,
Sorry that they had to
everybody
fight
was
in front of you.
That's all good.
I'm gonna come to this camera. Steve
Mommy and Daddy are
a
fighting.
game that I really enjoy, and I like the art on it. I think it was done really well. Grim Forest, like we were talking about earlier, and then
Charterstone.
Charterstone. I really enjoyed that game too. It was one of the few legacy type games that I played all the way through. Okay,
Oh,
Mike,
sure.
now you go back and highlight stuff if you'd like.
But not too
Well,
much. Just
yeah, but
like
not too
two.
much. Just a little bit. But they did some art for Iridia, and I'm really excited about getting that
Oh,
game.
yeah.
Mhm. So,
What is this from? Oh,
Iridia.
Iridia. Okay.
The Path of Iridia. Yeah, that game looks badass. I'm
Well, I had to
excited.
click on it for it to say that. So
Really excited about
Well,
it.
you used your one.
There's one. That's it. It's done.
yeah,
So
that's
I
it.
scroll
No
up a
more
little bit.
clicking.
Scroll or
Somebody else
down.
better
I guess,
take
or
over
whatever
on
you
this
want.
part
It
of the
says
show.
Iridia right there at the bottom. Iridia.
Oh, I'm allowed to scroll. I forgot.
Scrolling
Yes,
is allowed, Mike.
Scrolling is
Okay.
allowed.
Okay,
Clicking is not.
Okay.
It's very simple.
Okay.
I can feel the love. I can feel the love.
we
All
have
right,
we have
I didn't just
known
like
each
all
other
the
too
movies.
long, and we're way too comfortable with each other because the way that we mess with.
I got to go back to some of these
Sure.
Tidal Blades shots. These
They're amazing. I
They're
wish I liked the
fantastic.
game
I
more
loved
because of the
on that
artwork.
game. The art
Yeah.
on that game was not the problem I had with it.
Yeah.
No,
I think part of the appeal with the Tidal Blades one is
No.
like that crisp, like tropical water is
Man.
just so well rendered. Like that's
Yeah.
just that's the only
And
thing that you look at is like, wow, that water's great. No, there's characters too, but like
but that
It's
water, yeah,
it's so
man.
realistic looking. Like you could jump into it. Like that's
I'm kind of
That board
struck.
was unnecessarily modular.
mm.
Unless they're planning on doing some sort of expansions. and stuff
Oh,
like that.
Tidal Blades, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Again,
struck by the sun and the way it's actually glaring over
Yeah.
the structure in the middle. That's incredible.
Yep. Super good.
This is a great pick, Bob. This is one of my honorable mentions. They've made some incredible pieces.
Yeah. Solid choice. Yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that they'd also done the Santorini covers.
Yeah,
I didn't
like-
realize
like,
that either. Yeah.
I clicked on brass because I liked the game. Then all of a sudden I saw all of this and I was like, "Yep."
It's kind of a stark difference too, though, from like
Yeah,
the moody
From
brass
bright sun
brand
to
like
dark
the
and dreary industrial area.
yeah, go on a tropical vacation.
They do a lot of stuff for Roxley,
They do.
which
They
is all of
Which
those
is
games
fine.
right
Yeah,
there,
I like
plus the
Roxley.
brasses.
Roxley does a great
Rox-
job with their deluxe copies of stuff.
Mhm.
Like
And
that
apparently
Grim
a lot of
Masquerade. I've never seen that expansion, but that art looks sweet.
yeah, look at that one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
was
that
pretty sick.
the art is great. It's really good.
All right.
Good one.
There you go.
Yeah,
Even Unfair has some really cool scenes to it.
Mm-hmm.
I was
haven't
looking
played
at
that one.
these. Yeah, I haven't either. I was just looking at their ArtStation account when I was doing the research for this. And some of these scenes for this Unfair, oh my gosh, just
Now,
amazing.
do
Like,
y'all
look at
know
this dragon coaster.
are these like split into multiple cards, or are they like mats, or like do y'all know? I've never heard
I don't
Haven't
of
know.
that.
I
played
haven't
the
played or done
game.
anything with that
Mm.
game. I have no idea.
I don't know Unfair. I'm aware of Unfair, but not
Yeah.
never
Yeah,
played it.
that's
I
why
would say I love
when.
when games can do like that panoramic shot and then they split it into multiple cards and you can like look at it.
Yes. Yeah, and you take those cards, line them up, and there's the whole
Mhm.
scene.
Yeah,
That's cool.
that's good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. All right, Timmy.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. So my number 4, this person has done one of the most epic, well, I shouldn't say it can't even, it's plural, box art covers. Because they've done multiple covers for the same game, but it's really cool. It's beautiful looking. And this person also did art for Dixit cards. They did artwork for Mysterium cards. And that is Xavier Collette. So he did Abyss.
Say that. Yeah.
Did you know that one, Bob? Or did you, is he on
No,
your
but like
list?
as soon as you start talking about it, because Abyss is down here, I didn't really look down here, and it didn't occur to me. But as soon as you saying multiple box covers, like, oh, Abyss, I was going to look it up real quick for an honorable mention. I'm glad you're bringing it up because I
Is that the one with the fish guy's face where it's like this?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
okay.
their face.
Okay.
But
Just
there's like
face.
4 different
3 or 4
Ooh.
different ones. Yep.
yeah, and it's just very intense, right? Like I just I this is a game that the box tells you nothing about it, but I pick up and I'm very excited. Like, holy shit, this artwork is amazing. And the artwork through the
So
game,
good.
the whole game is really consistent. And it's sort of like when Bob's talking about Scythe, and it feels like you're seeing it through like a wind-swept, like haze. This everything feels like it's underwater. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's sort of like that murk to it.
Man, I'm looking at this. I'm thinking like, oh, how awesome would that be on a game mat? To put.
Oh,
on your
yeah.
mat. It'd be so cool.
But
And this game is fantastic. Like my parents love this game. My Magic buddies love this game.
Yeah, this game's just really friggin' good too. All right, let's give Brandon some love real quick. He wanted to give some love to the art from Chris Williams, Clemens Franz. Ooh, Clemens Franz, that's a choice.
Chris Williams,
Yeah, that's what
who
I
was
meant
an
to say.
honorable mention of mine, and he has a huge portfolio of great stuff.
Nice.
Good pick. Thanks, Brandon.
But anyways, this person's artwork is amazing. I love it. It's just a whole vibe and a mood. I don't
love
know.
that they put so much of it on tarot size cards. So
Yeah.
You can
Yes. It's a really cool game, and the art just makes it even better because I just love looking at all of the art. And I think I'm a sucker for like stuff that looks like it's painted. You know what I mean? Like it just, again, I mentioned Alex Ross earlier. He's like one of my favorite comic book artists, but he does like everything is like almost like photoreal paintings. I don't know how to describe his artwork. Somebody that knows more about art could describe it better than me. But anyways, this art and this style is so good, and it did not shock me at all to learn that he also did Mysterium cards and Dixit cards because again, those kind of all can convey a mood and a vibe, whilst being kind of abstract and ethereal, so
wow, look how realistic this Bruno Cathala painting is. That's amazing.
It might have actually been him. It was based on. I love it.
Yep. So cool. Good pick, Tim.
I don't remember what box cover I've got, but yeah, that's a damn good game.
I don't have
anyways.
that one. I have the one that Mike almost got to, but didn't click on it.
Oh.
Well, Tim mentioned Mysterium cards, and I only do what you guys tell me.
Since when?
Yeah, I was gonna. That's thank you.
5 minutes ago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they probably don't have his actually, highlighted per se, but
no.
But anyways,
You couldn't click on
Really
his name and go to
arts.
his art page.
we can move on. I think I made my point.
No, that's fine. Yeah, you made the point. Abyss is fantastic. I love the art.
Yeah, even just like those individual character cards, like you can tell that those characters are underwater. Like it's not just like the big landscape scenes. Like you can tell like each individual character is in that environment, which is it's hard to pull off. Like transitioning those environments from landscapes to like specific characters or scenes.
And I don't know how the hell people do it. You people, Parker, like you guys that are artists, and how you convey like a whole.
I mean, you people.
Yeah, exactly. How you guys do that is just mind-boggling to me.
Oh my gosh, look at
and
that.
I'm so jealous because it's just such an amazing talent.
That's got to be
tremendous
right there, man. That's so awesome,
right?
That's wild.
If I looked at some of this art, this dude could have been my number one based on this.
This
stuff.
guy has read some Forgotten Realms.
No doubt.
It's fantastic.
No doubt.
I wish I was talented.
Me too.
Takes a lot of talent and a lot of work.
Yeah.
Less talent than you'd think.
This one. Holy crap.
Listen, the only way I am even coming close is tracing.
That's right.
You got to start somewhere, man. Like that's
true.
That's one of the early techniques is tracing to figure out how master artists create their works. Yeah.
You know, my daughter's a decent artist, and she started by tracing a lot, and then she kind of it's sort of like that muscle memory, right? Of like how to create the shapes and draw and get the lines down. And now she doesn't. I don't think she hardly traces anything now, and she just draws a lot of freehand stuff. And I'm like, I don't know where you got this from, but I love that you're so talented.
Yeah, it takes time and effort, and like you got to start somewhere. But the issue is when you start trying to pass off traced stuff as like your original work.
Like
you've got to learn how the shapes are created and that sort of thing. Like it's all part of the process.
Yeah, super cool.
So, anyways, that's my jam. That's totally my bag. I love it.
That's my bag, baby.
Exactly. Again, a game where the artwork brings you into the theme and the vibe, of the game. So,
wow,
man, just big epic. I love big epic scenes like that, right?
Yeah. Yep. Nice. I feel like Mike clicking through like 300 pieces of art is like him doing a slideshow of the last convention he was just at.
Yeah, except these have been curated. So all right, Parker, before we make Mike more upset with us, please hit us with your number 4. I want to know.
So my number 4 is the artist behind the vastly popular Root game.
Yes.
So Kyle Farron is fantastic. He's done Root. He's done a handful of other games. I think the most recent is the trick taking game.
Arts. Yeah. He's done all the leader. I would think all the leader games, hadn't he?
Yeah, pretty much all of them.
The art style looks very familiar.
They do Vast as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I think my favorite from him is actually Fort.
I know.
It's
Fort.
such it's a goofy theme because it's kids playing like in their front yards or whatever. So like each of the little character cards is like you grew up with this kid across the street, like you remember them. But he put so much like personality into each of his characters across all of the games that he's illustrated. It gives a sense of like that world building and depth through specifically just the characters. And it takes a lot of talent to be able to infuse that much like personality into your characters. And especially in such like a stylized, like simple looking style. Because like his stuff does look like it could be easily drawn, but like
not to do consistently though, right? And to add all those details, like that's definitely a technique, that is.
And like the different colored outlines that you'll see like when he's applying light and highlights and then shadows, and then just the wild pastel color schemes that he uses, like super unrealistic, but like everything in his like worlds that he makes has like that like rich pastel look to it. It really works, and it's immediately understood as that's Kyle Farron's artwork.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like you see a game and you're like, okay, yeah, that's definitely that guy.
Definitely
Even if you don't know who he
his
is,
style,
that's
artwork and root and arcs more than I have the gameplay.
his style is very distinct, and I think even
Exactly.
if you're not versed in art, you can go, "Oh, that's that one guy that does all the leader games."
Right.
You
It's
know,
very
like it's
recognizable.
very distinct. Yeah.
I
I
met him at Gen Con this past year. He was actually working the line at the art at their booth.
oh, right on.
And whatnot. And so, yeah, it was funny because we were at the one, like, because the line was split in half, and the lady goes, "Hey, ask that guy about his art." So I walked up there and I was like, "So what about your art?" And he's like, "Yeah, I did all the art for Root and Bass." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, I really like all that." So,
That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, the stuff with arcs is really cool too, because like with the board, he pulls in like those neon colors almost like against that black board. It's just pops really nice.
Yeah, that I love it. That's great. That's really good. Root again, right? You want box art that like makes you pick a game up off the shelf and look at it. Like that Root is one of those games, man. Like I love the vibe and the style of that.
Well, especially mixed with like the little meeples. Like it's just it's
Yeah.
so charming. Like you can't not be drawn to it.
Yes.
I was
my
hoping
computer
to
monitor
actually
sits on top of my Oath box.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
nice. Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get some of the leader cards and arcs, which look pretty cool.
Yeah, the art on that is so cutesy. And like you said, when you combine that with those meeples, they're kind of shaped the same way the art is. It's very cool.
Yeah,
Well,
You know,
I love it.
Like with
My
the
favorite
asymmetric factions and stuff of that game, like you can tell like these characters, they don't all play the same just from like visually looking at them.
Right.
Yeah.
Game, and it's like wildly different factions.
One thing I love about this board is how they were able to create distinct sections without actually drawing lines or to differentiate the sections. I thought
Yeah,
that
it
was
looks more like
very
a
cool.
map, like an aerial view of a little part of a world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got actual pathing in between the forest and the trees instead of lines.
It feels
specific
natural.
hexes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very practical.
Really like this
artwork.
board because of that. Yeah, love this one.
Unlike the ugly board of the wonderful Tyrants of the Underdark. That board's really ugly. It's just circles and lines, you know, over a backdrop. Again,
Oh my gosh.
one of my favorite games, but that board is ugly.
You know what, Tim? I was looking at that one actually for this topic. There's so many artists on that game. I don't even know if you can...
There's 57 artists attributed to that game.
Wow.
But I think it's because they did like individual card art, right? So you've got like all of those cards
from different things, you know.
Yeah, it's sort of like Magic the Gathering. How many artists does Magic the Gathering have? Right.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I really like the Oath box. I don't know what it is about it either. I think
it's the fact that it looks really cool is what it is. I mean, that font, like the way the Oath, like that whole stylized title is great.
I think I don't love the color.
Oh, I love the color.
Back, but the way it is blurry in the back, but clear and distinct in the front to create depth, just really, really works well for me on this box cover.
Sweet.
Some of my favorite directors excel at forced perspective, and that's kind of like what they're doing with that box cover right there.
Good pick. Really good pick. I was going to actually pull up his website too.
I love that logo.
All right, Mike. I want a T-Rex monster truck shirt first. Hold on. Let me go ahead and get one.
Deer shopping. Oh, no.
My bad.
Oh, no. Mike clicked something. Oh, Bob will be over in a minute to reprimand you for your over-clicking.
How dare I pull up the artist from our guest number 4?
Mike.
What? All right. my number 4 is also more of a deep cut.
Ooh.
He's really only known for one game, and he only did parts of the one game.
Okay.
And he is the entire artist on a game that will be coming out this year that's gonna put him on the map, in my opinion. And
Ian
this artist,
O'Toole. Just kidding.
yes, Ian O'Toole. This artist, his name is Sergio Chavez. What he is currently known for is he did all of the art in Rise of Tribes.
Okay.
I should
Love the
actually
box
go
cover.
to his I thought his ArtStation account did him better justice than the BGG page. So I actually forget what this is from. Mission Catastrophe. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but I really love this style.
Mm-hmm.
And it's incredible how he's actually now.
That looks
Here's what I was getting to. This is a player board from Dwellings of Eldervale, just one of the player boards. And some of these player boards on this game are just incredible. But there's sort of
Not
a
from Dwellings.
hodgepodge through here, not
Yeah.
from Dwellings. Um, but he is doing all of the art for Andromeda's Edge.
Oh yeah, I was gonna
And if
say, did he do the art for Dwellings of Starvale?
yes.
I have that game on the way.
Yeah, more Rise of Tribes stuff here. I really like this scene here, especially the way this night sky has been created.
Mm-hmm.
So is that the OG Rise of Tribes, or is that from the reprint, or is it the same art in both? Because wasn't there like an older version, and they just released a new version of Rise of Tribes? I don't know if they changed the art on it, or if they used the same art. Because I just kickstarted it, and it came with like the Mammoth expansion and everything. And I don't know if they did, because mine says Mammoth Edition on it. So I don't know if they did.
I'm not actually sure about that.
Okay, just curious.
Here we go. Here's more of the Andromeda's Edge art that I think does him justice here.
Yeah.
Here's one of the box covers.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the main box cover, which is amazing. I love this box cover so much. And a lot of the card art that he did and like the tile art, I just think this guy's an up and comer right here. He makes incredibly detailed stuff that just really pops. I like his color choices. And the player board art from Dwellings is really kind of what put his name on my map, at least. And I had to figure it out. I actually I'm going to go ahead and give dual credit here on my pick here, because Dwellings of Eldervale actually has one of my favorite box covers of all time. But the problem is that he didn't do that box cover, and I didn't know that, because
What?
there's like 10 artists accredited with this game.
Yeah.
So I actually asked Chris Strain, who did the box art.
Oh yeah,
and
Chris would know.
because he works for Cardboard Alchemy, and he told me that it was actually it was Sasha Redivojevic who did the box art for Dwellings of Eldervale, and this is one of my favorite box covers of all time. I really love the use of color in this box. I love the perspective and the depth. I like the darkness at the front of it, and how you don't notice this stuff at first, but if you just kind of like start looking at this like piece by piece, you just notice more and more and more. And you're like, wow, look at all this stuff in the shadows that like I never actually paid attention to before. I've always paid attention to the stuff in the back here that pops more. So really, really like this box cover a lot. So my number 4 is kind of a two-piece here, mainly Sergio Chavez, but Sasha Ridovejic, Radivojevic. There we go. Amazing box cover on Dwellings of Eldervale. But sure, Sergio's going to be a name pretty soon, I think.
Yeah.
He also did the reprint of Sansuchi from Mayday Games,
Oh
and I
yeah.
like this box cover too. Yep. So yeah, really, really good stuff. He doesn't have a very big portfolio, but I really like his work a lot.
Sweet. All right.
All right, we are on to number 3.
So my number 3, we reviewed this game and got a lot of heat over it. And
I know what it is.
I better know what
do
it
not
is.
try it again because we only played with one of the. It's a 1v mini game, and we only played with
Bob,
one.
bring it to QSCon.
It's a good idea. I will, but it's Beast. And Aaron Midhall was the designer of the game, but also the artist. And the art is one of the things that really brought me into this game.
Yeah,
I
good
think
one.
all the different beasts that he did are fantastic. The board looks pretty cool, but like I said, each beast has a very unique look. We only played through with one of them, and we
hated it.
Hidden movement. It didn't really feel hidden movement to me, and that really kind of bummed me out because I love hidden movement games. But like this box cover,
wow.
Yeah, like it's one of the ones I usually keep up in one of my cubicles here, just kind of facing out so you can see the art because I do love the art so much on it, even though, we don't play it much. I do want to play it again, try one of the different beasts, see if maybe that does something for me. But I love the art in this game, and I think that he's accredited with all of it. So it's like I think he does good work.
That's one of those covers that tells you exactly like what you're getting into. Like just from that and the title alone is like, oh, I know what this game's about.
Yeah. I love 1v mini games, and like I said, it's supposed to be like a hidden movement. And to me, like the beast that I chose to play, you had to reveal your location like every 2 to 3 turns, and it's like, okay, well they know where I'm at all the time. How's this hidden movement?
It was very easy for us to kill you.
Yeah.
No, the game itself, like this was a game that just based on the art and the description of the play, I was blown away and really excited for. And then when the gameplay for us fell flat, I think it just hit even harder because we were so hyped. Like, yeah, this game looks freaking awesome. We do need to try it again. And I think that going to a convention that it is a sit and play games convention is the wonderful opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
We also won't have like Spencer slowing us down. We could just kind of jam through it.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to trying to play this again. I'm hoping I really would love the opportunity to play this again. Turns out we were wrong. We just didn't get it the first time. And then we could do another video on it and being like, hey guys, we were wrong about this game. It's you were right. It's amazing.
And I did want to go back and correct the record a little bit because one of my big critiques I had was the player screen that has for my hidden movements. Like you're supposed to have this piece of cardboard and it bends and it's supposed to cover up, where you're moving your little pieces. And the way I thought you're supposed to bend it, like you can start to hear it rip. So I stopped and I bent it the other way and it wouldn't fit. But you're supposed to keep bending it and it might tear a little bit, but then it does fit correctly. But I did kind of like knock. I was like, how did they miss this? It doesn't fit, but it does fit if you bend it the other way. You just got to get past the tearing sound.
We just got really nervous, and I'm not going to. My friend just spent a bunch of money on this Kickstarter. I'm not going to be the one to rip his stuff up.
Rip the game.
Like if Bob, if you want to do it to your game, that's your game, bro, and I will watch you do it. But I'm not going to be the guy. I'm not going to be the guy to do it.
I really enjoyed the art on this one.
But the art's incredible. It's an absolutely beautiful game that we just didn't like. So I'm really would love to give it another shot now, a year and a half later and see how we feel about it. But yeah, we got absolutely roasted for our dislike of this game.
We did. First and last video I'll ever watch from these guys. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's okay. It's fine. We're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, just like art.
That's right. But yeah, I just think it's fantastic.
Great art.
All right. Mine, I don't think will come with near the emotional scarring that Beast gave us. But this was definitely a game that I loved more than everybody else in our group, and I'm fine with that. But the art style and the vibe, so this has like a comic book art style to it. I absolutely love it because this art is so busy. There's so much going on. The artist's name is Matt Kint, Kindt. And he is the artist behind Mind Management. So there's like a whole vibe and a style to this game. And he autographed my box by drawing a caricature in there, which is so flippin' cool. To get an artist to autograph your box like that and draw a little thing in there. But there's so much artwork like through this whole game. Like, is it a pipe or is it a lady? You know what I mean? Like there's all kinds of crazy, you know, like extra images hidden inside. The back of the board is like a comic strip. And then like the board itself is like the layout of a city. And so you're, you know, as you're moving around. So the art design and everything is just a vibe that I am here for. I 100% love it. Mind Management, not everybody's cup of tea, but it's definitely mine. It is very specifically like that art style of like 70s comic books, right?
And it is based on a comic book, I believe.
Yes, I believe that is to be correct.
Yeah.
But it just like the vibe and the style of it just feels so good. For me, I love it. It's weird. It's definitely not for everybody, because I know that there will be people that will see this that are like, well, I like comic books, and that doesn't look like comic books that I like. And it's like, I get it, because it's not. It does not look like Jim Lee or Todd McFarlane, you know what I mean, or any other, you know, Eric Larson or any other amazing, you know, comic book artist from the last, you know, 20 years. It's really weird, and it's a choice. But again, all of the subtleties and the hidden messages and stuff that is in this artwork just really made me a big fan of this style and what this guy was doing. And it really, the game itself for me is very cool anyways, but like this really, again, pulls you in and like puts you into like that weird paranoid, you know, mindset. And yeah, Jim, it is definitely very love or hate. You either are like down for it or you're like, this is the ugliest shit I've ever seen and I don't like it. I think initially I was even kind of skeptical, but then I started to feel like the nostalgia vibe, and then I got into it and like really started like looking at it and like all of the things that I started seeing in the artwork itself. And it's like the fact that this person, you know, has the ability to like layer all of these things in, and the technical skill that must require just really blew me away. And again,
this is the only
cool
thing
of an
he's
autograph.
credited with.
Yeah. So Parker, if I get you to sign Trash Dash at some point in time, can you draw a critter like freehand real quick on the inside of the box cover?
I mean, I've drawn these guys in so many different poses, like figuring out what I actually wanted to use on the cards. Yeah, I've got the little raccoons just like deeply ingrained.
Yes, because that would be the most epic way to get your signature on a game. And trust me, that is going to happen. And I will be so excited that it will make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, man, you got it.
I will be jumping up and down and cheering. I will be very excited because I just love, you know, I love unique and interesting art. And again, this is so different, right? Like than anybody else, any of the other picks. And it's not on purpose. It's just that I feel like that there's room for all of these different styles and vibes and, you know, and everything. And this is very specific. You know, it's kind of like the Leader Games artwork. It's very specific. I don't know how this guy's artwork translates to anything else, to be honest, unlike Leader, where he can do Fort and then he can do Root and he can do Oath. But anyways, Matt Kint really just crushed it. It made a very lasting impact on me and is a big reason on why I enjoy this game as much as I do. But anyways, Mind Management, Matt Kint. As far as I know, it's the only thing he's done. It looks like it's the only credit he had on BGG that I could find. But just freaking amazing and really weird and out there. So,
yeah. Well, even just to piggyback off of that for a second as like a sidebar, like that's the great thing about being in the board game community is there's so many different genres and types of games that you can play, whether that's based off of the gameplay length, like the mechanisms, the theming of the games, the fact that like it is so open in all of those other avenues. It's also open in all of those avenues with the artwork as well.
100%.
So like you can find something that's going to be like somebody's favorite cover.
Yes.
And it could be wildly different. That's one of the reasons I suggested this topic is because like art is really subjective. So like to see what other people perceive as like quality, beautiful artwork that like grabs their attention. It's so interesting to see like the different variety that catches people's eyes. So yeah, Mind Management was a great pick.
When you brought this up, this was literally the second game I thought of.
Oh yeah.
Where I was like 100% because this artwork isn't just the box cover. It's like throughout the whole game. You know what I mean? And it's one thing to like, oh yeah, you did a great box cover, right? Because there are some comic book artists, I'll keep going back, comic book artists that do amazing covers, but they don't always do like a whole run of a book, right? They just do covers. That's their specialty. And that's amazing. And that's a talent and a skill. But again, like when the art on the box permeates, you know, all the way through. And again, it really brings out the theme and the vibe. Yes.
Yeah.
So anyways, Mind Management, that's mine. That's my 3. I hand it now to the trash man, who is the expert on the panel.
Somebody's got to clean up.
Right. Yeah, so my number 3 was Kwanchai Moria, which we've already talked about at length. So I will hop and talk about my number 6 pick.
I'm sorry, I just had to highlight Evan's comment. I'll be so excited. It will make you uncomfortable. Was my dating profile name.
That's
give that a shot.
Also, title of my sex tape. I'm so excited to make you uncomfortable.
All right, so yeah, my number 6 pick is Derek Welfman. He is the one that I thought was going to be your comic book artist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he does a lot of original comic books, but he most recently illustrated Star Wars Bounty Hunters, which I've heard mixed reviews about. But he also he's one of the few that I actually have quickly accessible. He did a variant of Air, Land, and Sea, Critters at War. So he's got like a very like fun, goofy like art style.
I like it.
Yeah, really, really fun.
Very cool
artwork. That as somebody who is a cartoon illustrator, like I am very drawn to his work, and his focus on character design and putting. A lot of my picks have to do with putting personality into your characters. It's less about like grand epic scale, kind of like the Dwellings of
Eldervale,
Eldervale,
Andromeda,
yeah. Like those are very like epic and like stunning. Like I tend to connect with artwork that has more of like a character driven story to it, where like you see these characters and you want to know more about them. He's done a lot of interesting fan art with different comic book characters, and I actually found him through like Star Wars fan art.
I love this dude's style.
It's fun, but it's also
cool critter art.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's really like gritty almost.
It gives me Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle vibes.
Oh yeah.
Especially like that font for his title, right? Or for his name there is like some really cool TMNT vibes. And I mean that in the best way possible.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Adventure Time comics, even. How about that?
Yeah, he's done quite a bit of license work, but even like his original stuff, like if you go up to the first row, the Witch of Wickerson is one of his original stories, and it's really like it's really well done. Like it's I want to say like whimsical almost, because it's like these cute little like critter characters, but like it has that grit of like they're facing off against this witch who's been like picking off their townsfolk. So like it's really cutesy, but it's also really gritty, which I feel like comes through in a lot of his artwork.
You know what vibe this gives me here is The Secret of Nim.
Yeah, I was thinking that
Oh
too.
yeah, hell yeah.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Oh, because we're old, Parker, and you're not. That's
It's
all.
a 1982 animated movie. That's
Hold on.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No. Don't apologize. Not the main character. The MacGuffin of the movie is a little tiny mouse that is sick, and his name is Timmy. And I went through my whole childhood between Timmy and Lassie, and Timmy from Secret of Nim, which was a big movie in my household. I was like, I'll take the rat. But anyways, please continue. I apologize for the diversion. But yeah, Secret of Nim, Mike, good pull. Yeah. Great pull. Awesome vibe. Great animated film. I believe that was a big important person did Secret of Nim. Please continue. I'm sorry. I'm gonna look that up.
Look at this. He actually did the autobiography. He also did the autobiography of James Cole. How about that? Right here.
It's a Don Bluth. That's why. So Don Bluth, I think, also did American Tail, right?
Don't the Bluths own that banana stand too?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, nobody got me.
Don Bluth did like American Tail, Land Before Time, All Dogs Go to Heaven, Anastasia. Yeah. So, anyways, there's our Secret of Nim. I would check out Secret of Nim if you like animated movies and you want to look at some older like some 80s stuff. I would definitely check out Secret of Nim.
You had Bob at Chibi Boba Fett.
Oh yeah, escaping the Sarlacc there.
Yeah, have y'all seen the Star Wars Bounty Hunters game? Like it's all just like this really classy looking stuff. It's got all of like the original like 6 bounty hunters from Star Wars, but then it's got like some of the newer ones from like the animated shows.
I've only seen the box cover.
Yeah,
I do really like this box cover,
and it's badass.
It's all artwork like that with like the characters and everything. Like I said, I've heard mixed reviews of the actual gameplay, but like this makes me want to pick it up.
But if there's a game that's got like Forlom and Dengar and Bosk and Boba Fett, like, because I'm a nerd and I know all of those characters' names.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We could have a completely other conversation about Star Wars. Like
seriously, okay. So Parker's next episode will just be about Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, there's Dengar in the back there.
Wait, give me an IG-88 and a Boba Fett. I'm in. The Secret of Tim.
I'm not nearly as deep into the Star Wars lore as these guys, but this is one of my favorite cartoonized version of Star Wars art I've seen. This is really good.
Yeah, that Greedo looks great.
Yeah, the Han even looks good. Like I'd always be very hesitant to see like an alternate version that wasn't a Harrison Ford, but that's a good, like I fear like the legendary Firefly.
Oh yeah, terrible art.
But this is actually a nice version.
Yeah, I think my favorite stylized Star Wars art is the micro series of the Clone Wars from Genndy Tartakovsky. Those were lit. Like they were fantastic. But yeah, we could talk about Star Wars all night.
So we need to have Googs or Chris Strain on with Parker, and then we can talk about Star Wars love, and then we just do a whole show. Mike can either show up or not. Bob can be there for sure, and then we'll just geek out over Star Wars stuff.
I'm just pulling up more of this guy's stuff.
This dude's stuff is rad, man. It's really good. It's really good. I love it. I hadn't. even like considered it because I'd only ever, I think, seen that the Star Wars Bounty Hunters box art.
Yeah. It looks like he's starting to do more stuff in the board game sphere, which is exciting. So I really like this.
So I did look it up just to go back to Matt Kint from Mind Management. He is the author and artist of the entire series of Mind Management. So then when they adapted it to a board game, Chris Cormier, who also designed like the Lewis and Clark Expeditions and Belfort and some other games that I really like. So he got Matt Kint to do all the art for the game. So it's even more true to the comic. And now I just realized that I need to spend money on going and buying those collected editions of those comics. Thankfully, I've got an in with the comic book store that's not too far from me, so I could probably get a little bit of a deal.
Mr. Mike.
Awesome. But yeah, that is my my number 6/number 3.
Love it. Hey, that's a worthy 3/6.
Yeah.
All right. My number 3 is definitely subjective because I know some people on our panel that do not like this man's art style.
I'll just raise my hand now. It's if he's drawing humans.
I think I know who you're gonna say.
You do. He's got one of my favorite box art.
Let me just make my chin really pointy.
Universes.
Yep.
And it is Manny Tremblay. Manny Tremblay's color usage can just make any piece pop off of the canvas or cardboard box. Like this one.
It's so good.
Love.
Hey, that's a great
box art.
That box art is way better than the game contained inside.
We're gonna get to Tim's least favorite piece right away.
Let's do it. I hate the way that he draws humans. I just don't
is this the dice thrown guy?
Yes, it is.
Oh, interesting.
I care so much for the dice thrown, but I love the Wonderlands.
Oh, I love the divisive nature of this. I was initially very off put by the dice thrown stuff.
Me too.
So I got into it with like the season 1, and this is probably an artist thing that I noticed. But all of the characters only had 4 fingers. He was slacking on his
Simpsons
handwork.
He's just a fan of the Simpsons.
Yeah, but that was one thing that like really bothered me. But then when they got the Marvel license, they started like making him draw the pinky.
My dad only has 4 fingers. Okay, I take offense to this. No.
Hey, your mom loves it.
But yeah, so I could definitely see how this is definitely one of those subjective opinions of like some people really like it, some people don't. It's grown on me. Like as I've played, my buddy really likes Dice Throne, and he got really into it when like the Marvel stuff dropped. So like I will say like this dude puts in some serious work because like especially in Dice Throne, like each of those cards has their unique illustrations and stuff. So like I do have to definitely give him props for that.
So before I say
derail, Mike, you can go
ahead. No, we're on theme here. We're on topic because let me say that while I hate the way that he draws like most people, right? Human people, regular human bartenders. I love the non-human characters that he draws. I love his choice of colors and the contrasts and like the saturations. All of that I really, really, really enjoy. I don't like Dice Throne, but I just really
don't like pointy chins.
I hate the weird oval pointy chin thing. It just bothers me. Like it just puts me out. I like strong-jawed heroes. If you've got that weak chin, you are you're probably from Innsmouth, and you're going to turn into a deep one and try to kill me later. And that's just because I love Cthulhu Mythos stuff. But anyways, Mike, please continue with your love.
I'm just letting you guys talk while I show off this man's wonderful colored artwork.
Listen, his artwork is great.
White colors is very good.
It's really good.
Use of colors is
it really... sounds like just his choice of like how he stylizes anatomy is a problem for you.
Thank you, Parker. Right. I think you nailed it. I think you
You
nailed it.
just keep going on about the chins, and I'm like, we'll put better words to it.
And you're like, I don't like the fingers. The hands are wrong.
The fingers thing, like, that's a silly gripe.
Hold on, we've got like a Rob Liefeld situation here. Like, he can't draw feet, right? Anybody that loves Deadpool knows
who's the
that's
guy that
a
with the
joke.
weird hand? Who drew that? An Orleans, the broken hand.
Yeah, that's a Clemens Franz. Yeah, he drew the weird hand in the Orleans and everything else weird on all the other box covers he did, like Agricola and Caverna.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a style.
Evan,
let's do it.
New stuff. Let me go to some of his newer stuff because, like, this is a newer one from Chip Theory. What do you mean you can't find Roth? Was that a game found? Hold on, I'm gonna have to find something.
And while Mike is looking, I will also say that I do not have a lick of talent when it comes to artwork, and this man is amazingly talented. This person is really, 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 really good at art, and they deserve all the accolades that they get. I just don't like some of the things that this person does.
Yeah.
This was the last Chip Theory game that
it looks so good.
He designed this one too. So
that's exciting.
He has partial design credit on Dice Throne. But man, this game Roth just looks awesome.
What was so funny, Mike's delight when I was like, this game Roth looks really cool. And Mike's like, you know who the artist is, right? You know who the artist is, right? You know who did this, right? Mike was salivating. He was so excited to tell me who was behind this game as I'm talking about how cool I thought it looked. Please continue, Mike.
Favorite piece of art in this game is actually the board. Look how 3D this is. Like the actual, the depth, the actual ability to create like the different levels. I don't know. The use of color and the shading just works really well on this board to me.
I don't know. The board looks so. I mean, I like those player boards a lot better.
I think that board looks amazing. I'm with Mike, but I mean, the player boards also look great.
Yeah, it's got that chin though, there, Tim. So I mean, you can definitely recognize his style. Like his characters do have a very personal style, and I get why some people don't like it. But man, this game. I didn't back it, but
the non-human characters look absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And well, that dude's got a real chin.
Hey,
he's covering it with a beard, so you don't know what's under that beard.
Beard, yeah.
It's just a point. It is just a point. But they grew how hard is it to grow the hair out like at different lengths to make it look like it's like a square?
He grew a square beard is what it is. You're right.
What about
There's
Goku? Doesn't he have like a pointy beard?
But yeah, like I said, I mentioned the Gendy Tartakovsky Clone Wars earlier. Like, are y'all familiar with that? Because he's very stylized in his style. Like, I don't know. Like,
it's like mind management too. That style either works for you or doesn't, right? It either immediately you're like put off by it and you're like, nope, and you cross your arms, or you're like, hell yes, this looks amazing. I love this take on this.
Slight tangent. The cookies from Rebels, I hated. It took me like a long time to get past them to actually start enjoying the show.
On Rebels or Clone Wars?
Rebels.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. So I grew up in the 90s and early 2000s. Like I am a young man. But when the 2003 Clone Wars came out with like that Samurai Jack art style, and then the like more CGI 3D one came out soon after, I was so against it. Like and this was me at like 12. So like, imagine little middle school Parker was very upset about the change in the art style.
Imagine being 20 years old and being like, what is this?
Exactly. But like as it progressed, and I don't know if y'all have watched like the recent Bad Batch and
I haven't watched the newest Bad Batch.
Yeah,
I've seen the art.
But like the evolution from that style into like a more refined, like it's really great.
I really have grown to appreciate that vibe and style. And oh my God, Jim, I own the Clerks cartoon series on DVD because I'm old. But that Clerk style has its own vibe. But yeah, I think, artwork can grow on you, or a style,
Oh, yeah.
but also, like, I do think that Clone Wars stuff evolved, and it's way different. Maybe way isn't the right word, but it's definitely a little bit different now than it was,
Well,
15 years
like
ago.
with the technology changing and stuff over
Yeah.
the years, like I think it grew on me because I got so attached to like the characters and stuff in the actual show.
Yeah.
Which I think translates well to board games too, is like if you play a game that you don't like the artwork, but you love the game and you consistently get it to the table, like that artwork is going to eventually get a little bit more appealing to you.
Yeah,
You
for
associate
sure.
it with those good times and like with those like stories that evolve out of it.
100%. 100%. And Mike, I knew this was going to be on your list. I just didn't know where. So I was totally ready to be like,
To poop on it.
well, I would just say to be a total hypocrite and be like, here, I love this person's artwork. And here I'm like, I hate it. It's like, it drives me nuts and it bothers me. Here, I love it. Here, I hate it. It definitely, and like any good artwork, it inspires emotion, and a reaction, out of somebody.
Yeah.
I will say,
emotion, but sure.
This may actually be one of my favorite pieces he's
That looks
done.
really good.
yeah, that looks great.
I really like this one.
I mean,
like
the wolf chin could be pointier,
It
but
could be pointy.
Well, I mean, he's got one little mini beard there that's got
that's
a
right.
curly
Well,
Q
he's
that's
covering the point with
compensating
that
for
the
it.
goatee right
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
That's right. You never know how big that actual beard is. But yeah, this is the most recent Chip Theory campaign, which is 20 strong. It's a series of solo games that are all being done by different designers and different artist combinations.
I love that Chip Theory's taking big swings.
Yeah.
They're taking a really big swing with this. And the first series of 20 strong went over very well.
Nice.
And yeah, this image here is
slick.
definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, no, that's badass. I love it. I love it. Here's the amazing thing about artwork is that I'm allowed to totally just hate some shit, and then other stuff I can totally love. And you're like, that's the same person. I don't care. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's
Tim,
true.
I played illustrations with you. Some of your art I love. Some of it, it's shit. So.
You know what's funny, Bob, is sometimes I get that word and it's like, I can draw this.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, no, it's going to be a stick person with a bunch of dicks flying at him. And that's all it's going to be.
Yeah. That image is burned in my head. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I did not really enjoy Radlands, but I really like this box cover.
I've never played Radlands, but I 100% love that artwork. I love that vibe and that style.
Yeah.
Super eye-catching.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think it's like
really
the colors.
that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's his color usage. I have one other person on my list that may top Maney with color usage. Spoiler. But he's second to only one other person in my opinion as far as his color usage.
So not to be a dick to Bob, but Bob, does color usage, how does that affect you as a colorblind?
Bob is colorblind, by
Couldn't
the way.
tell you.
Parker, so.
I mean, it looks how it looks to me, Now,
no, but I guess if like Mike and I are like, oh, this is amazing and it's vibrant and it pops, do you look at it and go, well, the lines
that's
are
the
good?
thing. So for colorblind people, the more saturation there is, the easier it is for us to see it. It's when there's softer hues and they're close together, it kind of just blends in. But when you have things that are popping, it really does stand out to us still. So it makes it easier to see. That's why some greens and reds I can make out, because if it's saturated enough, red, or if it's a deep enough green, like I can make that difference out. Or if it's a limey enough green, I can make it out.
Sure.
Like this one.
Yeah, now don't ask me what color it is, but I can tell it's different colors.
Yeah,
you know?
no, and
I
it's
might
still
call it something else, but I can tell there's like some yellows and oranges and some purples and some.
yeah,
some
you got it. You nailed it.
Yeah.
Right. But if the gradations and everything are still appealing to you, like that's still good, right?
Yeah,
Right.
that's why I like those like ones like that where everything pops more. You know, it's the ones that are very subtle where it's kind of like I lose a lot of that minutia in the art.
Yeah, and that's and you know, like I take it for granted that I don't have that issue, right? And I can see stuff and I can love and enjoy all these colors and then bitch about different things. Yeah, totally. But like, you know, I mean, for example, Parker, your game, it didn't matter because colors never came into play.
Right. Yeah.
But anytime we play games with like player colors or colors are integral to, you know, one of the mechanics or something, I always look at Bob and go, okay, so how did this work for you?
Yeah.
And it's not to put Bob on the spot, but it's like, it's something that I take for granted. So it's, it's 1,000,000% important because a game that I love, Scoville, is unplayable for Bob in its current form. It's getting a reprint where they say that they're fixing the color vision issues.
They are.
And we'll see. It sounds like they are.
I saw their pictures. It fixes it.
So, you know, it's a publisher that I love and that, you know, full disclosure, we have a relationship with. They paid us to do content. So I'm really hoping that, you know, that
I don't have to dock them that half point. For not being able to
that they actually do what they say they're doing. But, you know, it's funny. We're talking about artwork and, you know, and so much of artwork is not just the picture, like the drawing, but it's actually how the colors work and interact with everything else in the backgrounds. And again, it took me this long to realize that I'm taking that shit for granted. And I'm sitting right here with Bob, one of my oldest friends. And it's like, oh, buddy, how does this, you know, are we saying stuff to you? And you're like, it doesn't pop for me or it doesn't do that for me.
So you see the Helbert Chiropractic popping up. Our friend Evan, he designed a game called
After the Empire.
And
with Ryan Mock.
I really enjoy that game, but I couldn't tell some of the pieces apart. Not his fault. I had to go through with a marker and I just mark. Games that I enjoy, I'll make it mine and I'll go through with a Sharpie and identify the pieces the way I need to so I can tell them apart, you know. And a lot of times when we're playing games, it's like, don't put me in charge of the score tracker because I'm going to move the wrong piece.
Right.
You know, so I let somebody else do that.
Now, my sister does that if you don't let her play green.
Sure.
But she doesn't have an actual problem.
She's just always green. Yeah.
She's just always green.
Yeah. So to kind of speak to that from like my side of things as an artist and as a game designer, like everything that they're saying is totally accurate. Like accessibility in games is so crucial, especially with games that do rely on that differentiation of color in a gameplay mechanism.
Yes.
So a lot of games that do right by folks with color blindness are companies that are doing color and pattern or color and shape or something to differentiate other than just the hue. It's a super important thing. Like associating something other than just color.
Yes.
So I definitely like wholeheartedly agree about that. There's been a lot of like public outcry in like the design communities to continue to like make this issue known to designers, especially new designers who don't really like they don't know what they don't know, and if they don't
you don't
have any
exactly.
Like,
you can't see through my eyes.
Exactly. You know? Yeah. And like, not everybody is exposed to that sort of thing.
Well, it's funny because Bob and I had probably been playing role-playing games together for almost 10 years before we started playing board games together. And then I didn't even know until we started playing board games that Bob had a colorblind issue. And it never came up. It didn't matter. And I really appreciate how much the hobby has evolved, even, you know, since we've gotten into it in the last 12 years, 13 years. And your game is immune to it right now because it doesn't matter, right? There's
you got a meeple. That's you. That's who you are.
Yeah.
Well, and even with like my action cards, like they do have the icon associated with the attack and scare, and like the background is that color, but it's also got like the superimposed icon. So like it's very clear, like this is what this card is.
Yeah, we found your game very confusing and difficult to play, and we hated it.
Yeah, I mean it's made for children, so like I don't know.
Which is why I didn't understand.
Right.
So, well, God didn't deem me fit to see the colors differentiate. It did make a PhD in iconography. So we're good to go.
But on a serious note, another project that I've got going right now, it's a fairly simple trick-taking game, but it's dual-sided cards. So it's called Disgraced House. It's about samurai cats.
I love it. I'm already in. I'm already in. Did you do the art?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love that samurai cat.
Somebody for that one.
Oh, I love that samurai cat on the front so much.
It's all AI. It's all
even better. It's not my favorite. That's my number one.
So each of the cards is split. Sorry, I'll pull this back up. So each of the cards is split on the top and the bottom.
Oh, I love it.
So you can do the black number for free, or you can rotate it and play it for the red number by spending a token. Okay. The tokens are literally just these little red wooden discs, but you can see there's like it's pretty subtle, but it shows like this is the red side, because just based off of the color and stuff, you wouldn't necessarily be able to know that if you do have visual deficiencies. So I wanted to have some other indication other than just this is the color. To further push it, the black. Sorry, I'm like my camera's reversed, so I keep moving it.
No,
off screen.
You're good.
So the black is a bit darker in the actual value than the red. So if you have issues with differentiating between the colors, it's also slightly darker. So that's a trick that I've picked up.
Hoop, how were those colors for you?
That's fine. Like reds, blacks, not a problem.
Sure.
So you can tell black, there's not really like anything there, and then the red is something different and it pops, it stands out. And if you did like red and green, I'd be like, really, dude?
Exactly.
Sure. For some reason, people love to do.
But so that's a trick that I found is, as I've been like working on illustrations and stuff, to make sure that everything is as clear as possible, I'll throw an adjustment layer over the entire thing to make it black and white. Okay. And this allows me to see what spots are more heavily contrasted to make the subject matter or whatever it is pop out even more, which in turn also helps with accessibility with like color blindness, because it helps direct your eye to where it needs to go without the use of like saturation and stuff. Because that's a technique that you can use to draw attention. Just have one thing super saturated, and the rest of the stuff be a little bit more. Yeah. But having that added contrast from the values as well, that helps draw the eye and the attention.
Okay, Parker, I have a question for you, and there's only one correct answer. Tell me you're making pins out of these characters, like you did Trash Dash. Because if you say no, that is the wrong answer. Holy shit, these characters are so pinnable.
Yeah, there are stickers available because I can do that print on demand.
Oh, sure.
With the enamel pins, I have to do batch orders.
Sure.
So there will probably be a Kickstarter to raise funds for an enamel pin set.
Oh my god, I want these stickers. I want to put them all over my water bottle. I love all of these characters.
That is a pissed off cat meme right there.
They're so good.
Yeah.
They are so good.
And this photo right here is so memeable.
Hold on. I might have to change my number one looking at this artwork.
Oh,
he's
a good boy. He's got a gambling problem though. He's got an issue.
Listen, I have cats and a dog. I love it.
Yeah.
I am a
Oh,
lover of
fuzzy
all animals.
Yeah.
This artwork, seriously, I'm not blowing smoke. I love it. It's one of the things that was very appealing initially about Trash Dash, anyways. But I love that you have continued these badass, like cutesy characters, and doing it in a totally different theme and vibe.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. I absolutely love it.
This was a really fun project too, because like I've always really enjoyed like Japanese like culture and history and stuff.
Yes.
So the game is about
This guy.
I
like
want a pin of that dude so
I
bad.
love him. He's my favorite. He's my favorite. But yeah, so in the game, the emperor has just died, and you're all rival clans trying to vie for the throne. And so the numeric values of each of the characters is based on their like political or military ranking. So like the Ashigaru, she's a foot soldier, so she's really low on the totem pole. She's like a 2. The Shogun, who is like the really badass guy on the cover, he's the 10 because he's like the most powerful. But doing like the research into these specific rankings and military positions and stuff in pre-modern Japan,
Ronin.
And then also researching like the clothing and like the armor and like the specific like on him, like you'll see he's got the 2 swords. He's got his regular katana, then he's got his little short sword up in his belt. You'll notice like the katana is facing blade up, and the short one is facing blade down, which is like just minor details, but I wanted to make sure that I was honoring the subject matter as best as I could.
See, now that's how you do it. That's how you represent another culture, but you do it respectfully.
Right. Yeah, because
like,
I'm bona fide white dude, so like I want to make sure that like if I'm
hold on a second, hold on.
I can't see too well.
I don't see color.
I know, Bob, you said you're colorblind, but yes, I'm very white. But like when you take and try to honor another culture or something like that, you want to make sure that you are doing it justice, and you don't want to have
100%
a flop like that. Yeah. So not to get on a huge tangent about Disgraced House, but I wanted to make sure that I brought up the fact that like if you have like color specific stuff, it needs to be differentiated in some way.
Here's the problem now, Parker, is that I'm not going to stop bothering you about Disgraced House because I played Trash Dash. We loved it. And now that I know you've got another one like in the works, I'm going to harass you until I get to play it.
I say it's on pre-order right now. That's the one that I was telling y'all about that is a small batch. So Disgraced House, it'll be a nicer box than this. This is just like a crappy tuck box.
Okay, so
send Mike a link so he can share that in the chat.
What Bob just said, everybody just go ahead and pre-order this right now based on the artwork. I'm just saying, if you like any of that artwork, just do it now.
We've kind of talked about it. It's got the reversible cards.
Love it.
It's a co-design with a buddy of mine that I do online playtesting with a good bit. So it's technically my first signed game under Shiny Pigeon. Trash Dash is all me. Disgraced House is kind of a group effort with Kinner Cooper Ryder. He's a good friend over in California.
Sweet.
But yeah, no. So I'll drop that link over.
Do that. So we will share it. Everybody should check it out.
Yeah, it's hard because like I don't want to bring stuff up about like the other projects because like Trash Dash is like my main focus right now.
100%.
But, like this game it's been so much fun to work with another designer on something because like you can spitball so many ideas and like iterate so much quicker. But yeah, so it's on pre-order right now. I'm doing small batch print runs since it is basically just cards. With Trash Dash, I have to do a lot more custom components, so doing
a little different
quantity,
a little different.
Yeah, so Disgraced House is actually going to be fulfilled in like October, so it will be available for like the winter holidays for like gifting and stuff. It's a great shape, fits right into a stocking.
Listen, I just took a trip across the country, and that looks like a box size that would have made it into my suitcase.
Yeah, it looks like something that Mike could have taken to Alaska.
Yeah, check your bingo card, Mike. didn't talk about Alaska, but we did for him, so that still counts.
Nice.
No, but seriously, man, very cool. The second you started showing us the cards, I got very excited because I love the way that you draw critters, you know, like and all that stuff. And I really love the way you modeled all those trash cans in Trash Dash after Mike. I was like, oh, that's Mike. Like big pile of trash. That's perfect.
Yep.
Rest in peace, Mike.
Yep. And the possums after Tim.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I am Penelope embodied, right?
Madam Penelope.
Madam.
Get it right.
Penelope. That's my drag name.
Tim doesn't deserve that kind of distinction.
Well, that's why I got to go drag for it. It's the only way it's going to work. It's the only way people will buy it.
Okay.
Back on track.
I need a Ronin. I need a Ronin pin.
Dude, I will take any pin or sticker from any of those characters. They all look great.
I will
love it.
Fight you for a Ronin pin.
Okay, here's the thing: is I don't want to lose a fight, so I will ask Parker to make 2 Ronin pins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
there's more than one.
Quantity
and
order,
I'll just buy you one. I'll just buy you a Ronin pin, so we don't have to fight, and then we can. Because you're a lot bigger than me, and yeah, I could go for the knees, but that might last for like a minute.
Yeah, I don't have any stamina anymore.
Yeah. Okay. So I might have you there.
As a short plug, I like you guys said, I do stickers, enamel pins, that sort of stuff. The critters from Trash Dash, there are enamel pins of those guys in my merch shop on shinypigeongames.com. All the proceeds and stuff from that go directly into lowering the Kickstarter funding goal.
Oh wow!
So all of that is just feeding back into Shiny Pigeon. I have kind of a background in doing merch stuff, so it felt like the natural progression of things to kind of support the board game as a whole. But yeah, so if you like the critters, and when you guys drop the video or preview or whatever, if people are interested, like there are.
Get us that link. We'll throw it in the video in the thing, because I can testify that those pins are great and they get a lot of comments, because I had that a Penelope pin on my sling bag at Gen Con, and there was tons of people that were into that. So yeah, man, no, it's great. You've got great characters. It's great for branding, but also great for your game because it's super fun.
Yeah, I think Mike, if you've still got the Shiny Pigeon Games site up, if you just click the shop tab, that shows all the available goodies if people are interested as well. Yeah, I hate doing like the self-promotion sort of thing, but like
listen, I mean, Parker, come on, man. You're a designer, you're a publisher, you're on a show. You've got to promote yourself a little bit. I always feel weird doing it too. I get it. Like when I talk to people and they're like, "Oh, you have a YouTube channel?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do. You can watch it if you want, but that's
right." You almost want to like self-deprecate.
Yeah, like I don't care if you watch it, but it's like totally cool if you watch it.
Yeah, every view helps or whatever.
Yeah, I would totally be like super excited if you watch it, but I expect no one to watch it.
Yeah.
And yeah, Parakeet. I don't know if that's London or if that's Aaron or Christina, London. But if it's any of the people from Parakeet Griffin, yes, you must self-promote, especially you guys as publishers and designers. You have to. Oh yeah, Evan says he really likes the art, by the way. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, again, it's a long history of us having people that are way more talented than us come on and hang out. And yes, it's London. I called it. But anyways, very cool. Looking forward to that. Is it, Mike, did that like spin off of your
Where's
3? Are we on our 2?
I think that did spin off of Mike's 3.
Yeah, because we were talking about
3
accessibility with like color blindness. Oh, Penelope.
Yeah. So here's the thing: is I knew I gave my Penelope to somebody, and I'm really glad that it was London because I knew she would appreciate it.
Nice.
Because she's like, "Oh my God, you have a possum," and I'm like, "Yes." And I would only give that pin away to somebody that I absolutely love and adore. So, because I love that pin and wanted to keep it. So, I knew it would go to a good home and it would get represented well. All right. So, we're ready for number 2s.
I think so.
We are ready.
That's on.
Number 2. So for my number 2, I know I really enjoyed the game Barrage. I love the look of it. So I looked at the artists, and there was a slew of them, but I sent Mike a link. Antonio De Luca did art for Barrage, War of the Ring, Sin Tempore,
Yes.
Nova Aetas Renaissance, something to that effect. But his page that I sent Mike is fantastic. There's so much awesome art on there. Mike, if you could do the link.
Yeah, I'm working on it. You see, you can tell me you have a link, but like I only have a few seconds to know when I need the link.
It'd be right now.
Facebook is running very
Parker,
slowly.
if you couldn't tell, we run a very professional operation here.
Very
It's
tight
like
ship.
Everything.
Yeah.
It's a tight ship, man. We are.
Professional.
I'm just happy to be here.
Listen, we are happy you are here.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, people want to come on and hang out with us. This is amazing. Oh, did you find it?
Ooh.
Oh.
Yes. I mean, I sent him a link. This is the link. This is fantastic.
I had to
oh
pull
my
up
gosh.
Facebook
all this stuff.
and
Hold on.
scroll up.
Hold on, real quick. Let's set the rules
Yep.
for this encounter. Bob,
Yes.
is Mike allowed to click on any of these individual pictures, or does he just need to scroll?
You can just scroll at first, and then we can go back and highlight a few. But if we start highlighting everyone, we're going to be here all night, right? Because there's so much awesome artwork here. So let's scroll what's there, and then we can highlight some certain ones. But
Mike, this is me helping you.
But Lord of the Rings, Assassin's Creed, Historia. I never heard of that, but there's a ton of it. But it all looks so cool. I don't know what that chick is right there, like third one over from the left. Like,
don't click on it.
Don't click on it. I'm just
it's a trap. It's a trap.
Only I can click on it and tell you what it is. It's a Black Rose War miniature.
He does like some HP Lovecraft stuff, and there's actually a picture of HP Lovecraft right there. Lex Arcana, that artwork is badass. Like, I love his style. I love so many pieces in here. And like I said, I looked through a bunch of the Barrage artists, and there was some really good ones. But when I looked at his and all the stuff that's available, there's so much cool stuff in there.
So what's funny, Bob, is I came across this artist because I was looking at having Black Rose Wars as a pick of mine, but they had multiple artists, but this person kept coming up, and I was like, oh, these pieces are really good and really amazing. So it's funny, there was almost crossover, but there wasn't.
So close. But yes, I think that just it's awesome. I love it. Yeah. That piece there, I don't know what the heck is wrong with her back. She probably have a doctor look at that, but
nope, she looks fine to me. And you're also dead. No, that style, that vibe, the Barrage, like that Barrage Art Deco, style.
There's not a lot of Art Deco out there, and I love that Art Deco style.
Really good. Yeah.
Yep.
That's an art term, I know.
Yeah.
That's the one. I'm out.
Yeah, and then that picture's
yeah.
Cool. So when I sent Mike the link, like that's the picture that shows up on the thing, and I was like, no peeking.
It's really good. It's really good.
I really like the veins in his arms. It's really impressive.
And it just conveys like a feeling, like when you look at it.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I love it.
Number 2. What?
I love it. Chris is here, and he's right.
Nice. Yeah.
The art is good. The show is.
All right, I gotta go let Winston in, so I'm gonna let Tim take on over for his number 2, and I'm gonna go let the Winstonator back in.
That's fair.
All right.
That's fair. Okay. So I'm gonna go Homer pick. I'm gonna pick adjacently a friend of the show, but it is artwork that I genuinely love and was really impressed by because I wanted to not go necessarily mainstream with all my stuff because, as Jim will tell you 100%, I'm a Gen X hipster, blah, blah, blah. So I'll give you the honorable mention. I will say that Andrew Bosley, who does like a bunch of the Everdell artwork, is amazing. Not my number 2. But in the same vein, I will say that Andrea Reddick and Liam Peters, who did the art for Forges of Ravenshire, which a friend of the show, full disclosure, BA Games, Forges of Ravenshire, has artwork that I genuinely adore and love. This is a game that I would pick up off the shelf because of the box cover. I know Mike is looking for it. There it is. The player boards look really good. I'm pretty sure that Andrea did the majority of the work, so I'm not sure what Liam Peters did for it, but I wanted to make sure I gave him credit because he is credited on the BGG page. But if you can't tell, like from my love of Parker's game and some of my other picks, I love anthropomorphic animals, especially when done really well. And like these
That's my favorite one.
These are like pieces of art that like I could have on my wall in my game room, right? So Forges of Ravenshire just has incredible art. I will tell you that their other game, Cult of the Deep, also has incredible art, but it would get too close to what I'm doing with my number 1 pick, so I went with Forges instead as my number 2. But I love the art and I love the vibe. I love the style, and like again, this is a really cute, fun, and crunchier than you think game. That's an engine building game, right? You're building your engine. You're trying to be the best forger of Ravenshire, so you can be master forger. And there's tons of things to do in this game.
Not forger.
Yeah, not like faking signatures. But the art is what really sells this game, and I think is what is really going to bring people in to this really well designed engine building game. And you're going to be, this is one of those games that I appreciate because I think it is very easy to learn, but it's actually a little more complex than you think it is. Like this is a game I will say, like I could trick my wife into playing because she's like, oh, it's cute. And the rules aren't hard, you know, and they're not. But if you play it with like really hardcore gamers, they're going to find really interesting decisions in this game. But at the same time, you could play this with lighter fare gamers because of the art and the vibe and the ease of teach, and still have a very quick, breezy, fun. You're out in an hour and a half, you know, an hour to an hour and a half, depending on how often people have played and the min-maxers. But the art for me really just brings you in and is really enticing, and it's beautiful and it's full and it's vibrant, and the board is great, and there's Easter eggs on the board just like there are Easter eggs on the Scythe board, which was totally a non-controversial pick from earlier in this list. But yeah, just lots of cool things. I love everything that this game does. I had it on my list, but I was prepared to remove it in case anybody else was going to bring it up. I made sure it wasn't going to come up, so I 100% threw it on my list. Yep. And I am very happy with where it's at because I love the critters and the vibe and the feeling of this artwork that it brings into a very solid worker placement engine building game.
Dice placement.
Eric, we 100% already talked about Mr. Cuddington. So, yes.
Bob's number 5.
4.
Yep.
All right.
But I'm also in
Good one.
the, I have to say, full disclosure, like we are friends with the designer of this game, not necessarily the artist, but the designer of this game we are friends with.
Well, we
I
met
am-
her at because they usually give her a spot in their booth.
Oh yeah, we met her at Gen Con or Origins last
I've actually
year.
bought a couple pieces of her art because they're super cutesy.
And she was very kind. She was wonderful.
Very nice.
Like most people that you meet at conventions, they're very sweet and very cool people.
Yeah, I was looking at a bunch of her other work here on her Instagram page, and it's really good.
But I would
really
challenge
like
anyone to tell me that the Forge's art is bad. I would just say, like, I'll fight you. I'll fight you in an alley.
Look at this. What the heck is this thing? I love it. This like demon flying squirrel or whatever it is.
It's
like,
but yes,
that's
I do
amazing.
like that the other squirrel is on fire. Like that's.
I mean, that happens.
He's randomly on fire. Sweet.
Wasn't the Chicago fire started by a flaming squirrel
or a cow? But yes.
Good stuff. Yeah, she's very talented.
Biodome reference for those who are.
Yeah. Anyways, let's throw it to Parker for his number two.
Yeah, so my number two, also going to butcher his name. I just dropped a link to his Instagram in the chat. It's Satoshi Matsura, I think.
Okay. Sounds right to me.
Yeah, sure. You say it confident and quick, and
that's it.
So he did the artwork for Hidden Leaders and Almost Innocent.
Oh, yes.
He's also got an upcoming one called Yield. But his just ability to create so many diverse characters. Like if you scroll through his Instagram, it's just like you can scroll forever and never make it to the end. And all of these characters feel like unique and different from all of each other. I don't typically spend money on frivolous things, but I do.
Are you not a board gamer? Just kidding.
I actually have a copy of his art book.
Oh wow,
it's nice. It's really cool, but it's got like all of his, like it's just got like pages and pages of
nice
characters.
Love it.
This is something that like if I'd had as a kid, like I would have geeked out about like this all the time.
100%.
He has such great control over like pushing anatomy, even with like the mythical creatures like the dragons and stuff. Like he can push the anatomy in a way that makes it look how it's supposed to look, but so like incredibly stylized that like I don't know. I could gush about his artwork.
That's a really unique talent, right? That some people have, where they do a stylized version of something you already know, but you immediately know what it is, right? Like when you look at it at a glance, even though it looks completely different than maybe the conventional version, of it. Because I think I just saw the dragon as Mike scrolled by, and it's like, you're like, wow, like that's like, immediately what that is, but it is so different than any other, version of that creature you've seen before.
Right.
That's a real skill.
He's just an absolute dynamo when it comes to character design. And like each of these guys, like you feel like you could make up a story about each of them.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on with this dude? I don't know. But like, it's just pages and pages. And people watching the show, like I would definitely encourage you to look him up on Instagram and just, if you want to sit and doom scroll through Facebook, like just jump over to his like Instagram instead and just.
Well, so that's the other, that sort of goes back to Bob's first and totally non-controversial pick, where you see a piece of artwork and then you're like, in your brain immediately a story starts to form. You know what I mean? Like where you just create your own, lore around, this character or this scene that you're seeing. And yeah, that there's definitely that that here with that. That's very cool.
Yeah, we're just gonna stop the show, and I'm gonna continue scrolling through this guy's
Like the
stuff.
rest of the show is
I'm
just going to be Mike Doom scrolling.
I
Great.
love this. This is really, really good.
This is why we have experts on the show, and we all look like doofuses with like the art we like, and then you get like a real artist, and they're like, "No, this is the good shit." Like, let me just show you the good stuff.
I mean, y'all have had really good picks. Like, I wouldn't go against it. Be like, no, y'all's picks have been trash. Like, I do like a bit more of like an eclectic vibe.
100%,
I'm
man.
surprised Kyle Farron didn't show up on y'all's list so far. But like the same thing with Satoshi here. Like, it's very obvious if you see this artwork. I know exactly who that is. Like, who's the artist behind that. And that's the thing. It's like we've talked about the entire show. Is like each person has a different ideal of what does and doesn't work for them. So like this stuff might be like totally like obtuse to some viewers, but like this is my jam. Like I love stuff like this.
No, that's the thing though, man, and that's what's wonderful about art is that there will be people hopefully that watch this show and hate every one of my picks, but they love every one of somebody else's picks, right? You know what I mean? Because that's the thing about artwork is if it doesn't invoke like some kind of reaction, you know, or emotion out of you, then it's not doing what it needs to do. You know, if you don't hate it or love it, you know, and you're just like meh on it, well, then that art is not doing what it needs to do. You know, so I hope that people that like even look at this one and they go, I hate it. Well, it's like, well, no, it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's getting an emotional reaction out of you. I mean, that's the beauty of artwork, you know, and like you see it and you love it. You're like, I want to play a whole game with these kind of characters and this style of characters. I mean, it's doing what it's supposed to do.
This one here is so good, and it's just 6 colors.
Yeah,
that's it.
Is it even 6? I would have said fewer. So good for you, Mike.
At first, I thought it was 4, but yeah, Bob. But the blade has colors that the rest of the character doesn't.
To Bob, it's just black and white.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Hues of gray. I still want that shirt that has a red and a green meeple on it, and it says I only play gray.
Yeah, I love it.
I think that'd be funny.
Man.
And
this is great.
I think Nix is right. You have to know why you love or hate it, right? But you know, I think too, if you're gonna go out there and say I hate this or I love this, you should have a reason, and you shouldn't just go, I don't know, I hate it. Like that's bullshit, you know. But like, you know, I will use it for like board game critique. If I say I don't like a game, I try to very specifically say what I don't like about it. Same when we do really like a game, or if I don't like a game, I try to also say all the things I do like about it, but it's really weird. I don't like it because it does X, Y, and Z that I really like. It's kind of like when Mike covered Trash Dash and he's like, I really like racing games, but I hate everything else about it. Just kidding. Not what he said. But I just wanted to make Mike sweat for like 2 seconds.
No, I'm just zoning you out and I'm doom scrolling.
That's
This guy, I love this style. It is so distinct.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It looks very gorillas. Very gorillas.
Oh yeah, gorillas is a good yeah.
I haven't played any of the games that have his stuff. But yeah, the Hidden Leaders and Almost Innocent, I think.
Yeah, Mike, click on that cat.
Sorry, were we talking about board games? I'm just gonna doom scroll on this guy's Insta for the rest of the night.
Dude,
that's awesome.
That is photorealistic. Look at that.
Now hold on. Bob and I are specifically cat people. We were very excited about that.
Wow. Great pick. I love this guy's style.
Yeah, just wait till you see his number 1. You thought you liked his number 2. No pressure, Parker. I'm just gonna lay it on real thick.
Man.
It's all good, man.
Okay, good stuff. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
I'm like, I have to make sure that I don't close that link. And well, there's a very easy way to do that. Hold on, we're gonna make sure we follow this
Okay,
guy.
let's
Like,
just make sure Mike has time to follow.
no, that's I'm only logged in as our board game rundown Instagram account, so he's getting followed by us. All right?
Proudly.
Yeah,
I do not have a
I am
problem with that.
excited to see more games using his art. Like I said,
Wow.
Yield is one that's upcoming. So hopefully he'll be able to get a little bit more traction. Do some more.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
All right. I honestly thought there would be some crossover with
I
this
specifically made it so there wouldn't be. My list, anyways.
Well, this particular artist has done a lot of work. He has a very distinct style, and he probably has my favorite use of color of any artist
Bob's out.
that I've ever seen. And that is because my number 2 is Weberson Santiago.
Ooh.
That is the artist who did all of Bloody
Yes.
Bloody End is
Love
really
it.
good game.
He
Cool.
just has such an amazingly distinct style, and I can see it being polarizing. I can
That's
see people
spicy.
not liking this style at all.
It is such a vibe, though. Man, it is such
It
a it is so
It fits that
particular.
game so well.
It does. It kind of reminds me of what's the Edgar Allan Poe one? Mask of the Red Death.
Yes.
I love this one. Like,
yeah.
the use of colors here.
Really awesome. Love it. Go to the game that I hate that he did.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
I don't think this cover is him.
I don't
that
think
doesn't
so
look
either.
That's not his style at all.
It doesn't look like it. But I mean, like we said, a lot of times artists will have like different styles.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that box cover. I have a problem with that game.
The art is not the problem with that game.
There's 14.
100%.
Now here's the ones that he did for Coup.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And I'm here for it. I am 100% here for it. Not my problem with the game.
Blood. How awesome is that?
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good.
Mm-hmm.
I still hate that game, but I love that freaking artwork.
Does he have? I gotta look. I did not look to see. Yes, he does. Yes. Because there's some really. Oh man, only one in there, and that one's pretty cool.
That's back to my Vagrant song pick, but yeah,
there was one that was actually being promoted at Gen Con, Tim, and we went to that booth many times.
Peace out, Nix.
They had a banner of this game, and this banner, here's another really good one. I love this one.
Oh yeah,
Wolfgang Warf's game, even.
One of my favorite designers need to play that.
Yeah, play
that. More Weberson Santiago art, man. It's so moody and gritty, and
I love it.
Great usage of color. I just love his style so much.
Even that box cover, that's legit. Like
that box cover is like, what's up, dude. That is so good.
Like such a heavy use of yellow.
Yeah,
like that's such a that's
a choice.
Yeah, like
that's a choice.
Because like you could go in such a wrong direction.
Come at me, bro. Let's go. I'm gonna go like left field with this.
This box cover even pulls off yellow with white font, and that font works really well for me too. This is an amazing box cover. I love this one. There's one another very specific one I want to be able to find.
You had me at Bloody End. I'll just say that.
I mean, know,
Mike,
but
this is already an excellent pick. But the Bloody End artwork is so freaking good.
I know. This is one we got from 25th Century at Gen Con. He did the art for Dracula and Van Helsing. Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. How freaking good is that, dude?
It's cool. And all the cards have his style on it. It just sign me up, man.
So good.
Mike, your
It's so
number
good.
one better be really fucking good.
I know,
I'm
right?
just gonna
She's
say,
amazing. She's amazing.
because this is so good.
That's wild.
Weberson could have been my one, but I'm sorry. There's this.
All right.
All right.
Here it is. Sea Dragons from Draco Studios.
Oh yeah,
This banner in the Draco Studios booth just grabs your attention.
yes, I love it. You're
Love
right,
this.
Mike. You were right. I love
Every
that.
time you walk by their booth, I'm like, oh, the Sea Dragons banner would just, you had to stop and look at it.
Yeah, when we were at Gen Con, that's a banner that stopped me that I needed to admire, right? Like, yes.
Yeah, Weberson Santiago, man, this was one of the first ones I thought of immediately. And his work is so good. This one, not one of my favorites, but
It's so not in that style.
not like his other stuff. Yeah,
No. Yeah.
not at all like his other stuff. But I bet, like, yeah, even the card art's not quite like. I see it a little bit on the side of this
same
barrel.
like type of coloring, but like a different
Yeah.
style still.
Yeah.
It's still got like that grungy texture to it.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting at. Yeah, you explained it better with what's on the side of that.
Yeah.
barrel,
Again,
that grungy
Parker is way
texture.
more educated in this field than we are.
Right.
You
Can
knew
use
what
the
I was
correct
going
terms.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got that. I would just say that's a je ne sais quoi that I cannot.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
That totally fits. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Right.
This art is so good. Like I said, there were two people I thought of immediately. And then three. Quan Chai could have been my number three. But man, this guy's style is just unmistakable.
Really good. Really good. Dynamite pick, Mike. Dynamite
Nice.
pick.
Good job, Mike. Okay.
I love that Dracula one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The
The contrast, right? The contrast on that cover.
Well,
is it
the
like,
contrast, but also like it's so evocative because like he's hiding among like all of the regular people. But like his color, like the impact of like
oh, it's so good.
He's different from all of these other characters.
The choices. Oh, it's so freaking good.
Yeah. Love it.
So freaking good.
Yeah, the shade, like even just like the shading on the face.
His chin is a little
really
pointy though. I don't.
Well, you know.
I don't know.
Get him! Get him!
Listen, I'm totally prepared to be a hypocrite where I think it's totally fine there and it's not fine in other ones. Love it. I love it. Parker, you are one of us now. You are throwing shade. Well done.
Yeah.
Well
he
done.
threw shade at Tim.
We have done our job. We have made Parker comfortable enough to start talking some shit.
Oh, is this? I think this one just came out. That can't be his style. That's got to be a different.
No.
Oh yeah, that's a Bosley cover. I bet.
Yeah, that's an honorable mention.
Yeah. Anywho, Weberson Santiago, amazing artist.
Yeah, fantastic pick.
Okay, here we are. We are at our number one's favorite artists of all time.
Oh, no.
Favorite board game artist of all time.
Yeah.
Favorite
board
artist
game
of all
artist.
time is Alphonse Mucha. So,
woo!
Yeah, but we'll keep going on the board game stuff.
So my number one, it might be kind of cliche, but I feel like if I ever made a board game and he did my art, I feel like I made it.
Yeah.
Ian O'Toole.
Well, hell yeah, man. He's
know,
the king. He's the king.
Yeah. So much art on so many games I love. Such a great job. Now, I don't know if he's responsible for all the icons and everything too, but the iconography is always so strong.
Yeah, dude. Every freaking decent Vital Lacerda, well, I shouldn't say decent Vital Lacerda game, but every Vital Lacerda game, you know, that he's worked on, the design is amazing.
Bob, to strengthen up your point on why his iconography is so good, he will not do the art or iconography for any game until he plays it first. So he's doing icons that make sense as a gamer.
I gotta meet this dude. Like our brains are like symbiotic, right? Like because like I look at his icons, and that's why when I talk about having the PhD in iconography, like I don't just say that. So a lot of times, like I play a lot of these heavy, crunchy games, and a lot of end up being Lacerda games, and I look at the iconography, and it just makes sense. And
there's so many.
I love the art and like everything he tries to convey with it, and then the iconography, it just makes sense. And like it's fantastic. So like I said, if I ever design a board game, which I've got like tons of them in the works, right? Like, because everybody who plays board, I mean, everybody, but a lot of people that I know that play board games or does content dabbles in the trying to make a game thing. Like, if ever get done and he does the art and iconography for me, I feel like I've made it. You know, like that's my creme de la creme, as it were. So we lost to Tim, but
Weather Machine, Carnegie, Ra,
new Ra,
Voidfall. There's so many. There's
Lisboa, we just played Inventions, Rococo. Just so many. He does such a great job of that.
He did Galactic
Cruise, right?
Galactic Cruise.
He did Galactic Cruise.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Kanban, another Lacerda, of
Scarlet
course.
Pimpernel, that's like a less known game, but like even that game, like I really enjoyed the art on that.
Which one?
Scarlet Pimpernel. Stunning Emerald was great. Yeah.
Oh wow!
Right. Martin Wallace.
That's way different than his modern stuff.
Mm-hmm. So he's fantastic. So.
Yeah, his iconography especially.
Yeah, Scarlet Pimpernel, Mike. That's 2019. There it is. Yeah.
Ooh.
You know I'm a fan of guillotines. So,
I don't know this one.
I own it. It's pretty good. I mean, because the gameplay it's somebody else. Obviously, it's not like an ENO2 or a Lacerda or anything.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I enjoy it, and it
I
comes with a little mini guillotine, so it's fantastic.
Oh, that's wild.
I like his work on these two Reiner Knizia games that came out this year, Cascadero and Cascadito.
Yeah.
I like these two.
Mm-hmm.
That's classy.
Yeah.
Reiner
so I don't know if you guys have heard of Ian O'Toole, but he's
it's
really
this guy.
good.
Not many people know about him. He's up and coming.
Yeah, pretty limited portfolio. But yeah, he plays every game before he does the iconography, and it shows.
That's awesome. I didn't know that, Mike. That's cool. Because that's probably why they make so much sense.
True.
Yep.
I even love the simplicity, but the beauty of the Ra reprint. And you guys may have talked about that while I was using the
Ra
Russian.
art's amazing.
It was mentioned.
But
yes.
I mean, it took a game we already loved and just made it even
beautified
better.
It. Yeah.
Which was also previously hideous.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, now
100%.
all my geek up bits are pretty much irrelevant.
Yeah. If you got that Days of Wonder version that was ugly but classical, for a 90s Reiner Knizia game.
And you know what they never told you about this first player marker? It's the size of a rodent. It's massive.
Of a what? Rodent?
A rodent, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we've been talking about critters throughout the night, so I
sure.
figured it was on. All right, fine. Here, look at the Egyptian god.
Look at it. Yeah.
Good one. I figured O'Toole was going to make somebody's list.
Oh, yeah. I mean, come on.
How can he not?
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. All right, Tim, what do you got? Number one.
All right. So my number one is from one of my favorite games of all time. He only did the first version of this game, but his art and his style and his vibe permeate throughout all the expansions and extra versions of this game. You can follow him on Instagram and Facebook as Tentacles and Teeth. His name is Richard Luong, and he did the artwork for the original Cthulhu Wars. I am a horror fiction, like I read, lots of books because I'm a nerd. And this guy's artwork brought me so hard into the very first Kickstarter I ever backed. And so, Mike, if you can find Cthulhu Wars, you can find Tentacles and Teeth.
Yeah. Oh, look at that profile pic. Oh my God.
Richard Luong. His artwork is 100% really incredible and amazing.
Yeah.
Like the pencil work there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the detail, the shading, like his whole vibe is just stellar. Actually, I have a friend that bought specific pieces of his artwork from the Kickstarter. And this guy is just above and beyond everybody for me. I love it. If I could ever have a game, if I ever designed a game and could afford to commission an artist, this is the person I would seek out.
Ooh, look at this Hellboy.
Yeah, dude. Like his stuff is so good. It's so good. It is so good. It's so clean, right? Like his black and white stuff is so clean, and really just neat. This is just one of my favorite artists, and I only know about him because of this one board game. And then I followed him, you know what I mean, on Facebook and Instagram, of course, because of the Kickstarter campaign. But he really brought to life one of my all-time favorite games, board games. And it is definitely not a board game that's for everybody. And it is definitely an IP that people will find boring and overused and trite and all that stuff. And that's totally fine. I do not have an issue with that. But I would challenge anyone to tell me that the art is bad. Right. Just with what this guy does and the way he does it.
That is so sick.
Yeah, dude. That's seriously. Wild. His pencils are just out of control. It's like, really, dude? Like, really? Get out of here. You're ridiculous. Wow. That Gambit, right? I don't know. That's a Gambit I would buy. 100%. This guy is so talented and just does amazing artwork. Again,
color stuff is good. I mean, like,
beyond
enjoy the pencil stuff.
No, the pencils are great, but the art, like the color stuff, is amazing as well. But the stuff this guy does is like shit. Legitimately, I would like hang on my walls and be like, "Hey, like, yeah, like I would commission this person to do artwork for me." They're so talented. It's so good. And it's just the stuff it's the style that I probably love the most, right? Because he can pull off like ethereal horror, like you see right there, but he can also pull off like comic book characters. I don't care if it's in color or if it's in pencils. It's so strong. It's so cool. And I only know that he's done one game ever, but all of his other artwork, I just love so much. He had to be my number one. He's the first person I thought of. And I wish he had done more games, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because, obviously an Ian O'Toole is an amazing choice because he's so good and he's so prevalent. But this person's artwork is so strong. For what they have done, outside of board games. But because he dipped his toe, his slimy little tentacle into the board game hobby for one instance, it is enough for me to put him as number one on my list, because that's the ugliest box of a board game that I absolutely love. Maybe second ugliest box. but the artwork inside the rule book and on the player boards and everything.
That Omega rule book is awesome. It's got so many awesome
I'm
pictures.
just trying to find like his work in the game, but it's
Oh my
buried
God.
in the rule book, like you said.
Yeah, it's so good. His artwork in that rule book. If you could just look at the Cthulhu Wars player boards, that might give you enough.
I'm trying. Like they're buried. There's like 30 pages of photos and okay.
Yeah.
That looks like him.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what's up, man.
Yep.
If you go to like Instagram and look up tentacles and teeth, I think you'll find what you're looking for.
I've been on this page the whole time.
Yeah, I mean all this stuff, right? It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. What? There you go.
It's out of control, man.
So good. I knew that was gonna be your number one. That's why I never look at it.
Yeah, Richard Luong. He's so good.
There, that was so badass.
He does commissions. You know what I mean? He's a working artist, and he's so good. He's really freaking good. Really talented.
I feel like isn't this one of the ones that like Pete has a picture?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. Yes, he does.
Magic the Gathering art.
Yep.
Doesn't surprise me.
Right.
But if there's somebody that can pull off cosmic horror, like it's this guy. Just absolutely nails it. But it's not just that. He's so talented. You've seen all the images that Mike has brought up, you know, of like known comic book characters that he's done commissions for. I mean, this stuff is just so good. I love the shading and the pencil work is incredible. Anyways, Parker, I'm sure you have like technical terms you could apply to my adoration of this person. But anyways, this was my number one. This was my number one the whole time. It wouldn't have changed. But again, I knew I was probably going to be the only person to put this guy on because he's only done one game and it's one of my favorite games. And I know Bob was aware of him, but I don't think many other people.
I wasn't gonna snag it from you.
Yeah, yeah.
I've actually heard of Tentacles and Teeth.
Yeah, he's legit. It was really good.
Yeah, solid pick, man.
So that's my number one. I'm really passionate about it. I love it. I love his art. I think that he's incredible. Yeah, right.
All right, Parker, what you got for number one?
Oh, yeah. So my number one is also another artist designer.
It's Parker Simpson.
No. No, artists were all very self-deprecating.
Sure.
And if I look back at my work from a year ago, and if I'm not upset with it, that means I'm not doing better now. But yeah, so my number one is Louis Bruet of Bruet Games. He did Keep the Heroes Out. Is his most notable one.
I met him. He's wonderful.
Yeah, he's got some fantastic work.
Yes.
But yeah, so he's my number one pick because A, he's the artist and designer. But B, he bakes the artwork so deeply into the game. I think that probably does come from the fact that he designed it. But like, it's so. Oh yeah, there you go, man. Like it's such well done artwork. I'm definitely a fan of like that cartoony stylized look. His like color usage, like he's got those really nice, like rich,
yes,
like, tones. It's just fantastic, and the meeples, like I can't get over the meeples. Like seeing those are actually what inspired me to do the meeples for Trash Dash.
Oh, nice.
Because like they're just so charming and cute, and you just want to pick them up and you want to play with them. So like I do attribute a lot of my design choices for like Trash Dasher's components from like his work and stuff.
Bobby, he is Louis Brew is friends with Ron Holiday because he's a Brazilian
Oh,
designer.
nice.
So we have a mutual friend
Yeah.
with this designer.
Oh,
That
very
dragon
cool.
thing looks very Trogdor.
Yeah, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there's your Cthulhu.
Yes.
But yeah, just the amount of like work and passion that's obviously pushed into this. Like I would watch like a TV show of this artwork.
Oh,
And
100%.
yeah, like growing up, like watching so many cartoons, like that's definitely baked into my like nostalgia factor as well. But yeah, he's done some fantastic work. Yeah.
Nice.
Great stuff.
Yeah,
definitely.
what an awesome pick.
Yeah, definitely a more like cartoony, like stylized sort of thing. Pretty stark difference from Tim's number one.
Listen, they don't have to. Yeah, no. But that's the thing. That's the awesome thing is like you bring up this, and I got just as excited about it because I genuinely love this art.
Yeah, you can like more than one thing.
100%.
That's the great thing about it. Yeah.
Yeah, what an awesome and delightful pick. I actually took my picture with this with Louis at Gen Con last year and sent it to our friend Ron because he lives in Brazil and designs games, and they're part of the same like developer group. And I'm like, hey Ron, guess who I just met? So like, I love how even internationally, what a small world, right? It can be. And so you made my night picking such an awesome artist because the art is what made me stop at the booth and talk to him about his game. And then the play of the game is what made me buy it. Right. But the art is what pulled me in. It's what, it did its job. So fantastic pick.
Thank you.
Okay, good one.
All right, don't blow it, Mike.
Well, if we're going to talk about heavy hitters that have done tons of games,
don't say Clemens Franz.
I would be absolutely remiss if I did not mention this woman. And when I was a kid, the artist that first spoke to me was Norman Rockwell. And I always liked art that was almost like photorealistic. Like, am I looking at a painting or a picture? And I just thought it was incredible that this man was able to take oil and create something that looks so real. And to me,
I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
What Beth Sobel does the best. But she does a lot of amazing things, and I just don't know if anybody has as extensive of a catalog as she does. Because she has worked on so many games. Of course, Calico, this box cover here. Really, it went from there to what the heck? If I go back, it goes back to my Google search. That doesn't make any sense. Why can I not get back to the previous page?
There you go. Now you're scrolling.
I have to go up here. Okay. This one here, like,
I love and I love that game too, but that box art is a grabber.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a photo almost. And that's what's always grabbed me about most of her work is just how realistic it looks.
I love Arboretum so much, and I think the Cascadia box art is amazing, and I hate that game. But I love Arboretum and the way that game plays.
She is also from the Pacific Northwest, so Mr. Portland
Mr.
Gamecraft over
Portland
there.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, here's one of my favorites actually is lanterns.
really good.
I love the
Really
look of
solid.
this one. It just the contrast with this logo and the dark clouds and the reflections in the water here just blows me away. There's so many. I'm sorry. I'm gonna take a second
Uh-oh.
here. She's
Uh,
worked on so many. But that's just what she has on her website. I mean, now I actually even went down a rabbit hole and looked at like her Maury. This one's
Oh
awesome
yeah,
too.
I
oh,
was going to mention that
wow.
one because
Get
that's one of the
out.
trick taking games that
Yeah,
I
that's
had
awesome.
learned about.
Get
Yeah.
out. That looks so good.
That's
Yeah,
gorgeous.
this one's incredible. She's done some work on Wingspan. I don't know specifically. I don't think she did the box bird, but
Okay.
she did some of the birds.
Okay.
She actually made a playing card set that's all her artwork.
She probably
Uh,
did all the birds that wet their nests. That's specifically a reference for Bob.
player
Yes.
boards.
What?
Thank you,
Again,
Evan. I
it's
was not sure. It's hard to figure some of that stuff out sometimes. But just going down to just her oil paintings, I was just so impressed.
Yeah.
Like some of these just look real.
right.
And they're like I have like an emotional attachment to some of these. Look at how she's able to create the shading of like she's sitting next to blinds.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, to,
It's a great lighting effect.
Yeah.
yeah. Um, this one is actually one of my favorites. The way his eyes are done are just like perfect. It just
You notice the
man.
roundness of the chin. It's not pointy.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy here, man,
Hey Reed.
especially her work on eyes and like eyelids is just extremely good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just went down a rabbit hole. And thing is, if you look at all of these, she says these are 1 hour study. Did she really paint all of these in an hour? If
Wow.
that's true, that's
It looks like it could be a
insane.
picture.
And there's
Yeah.
hundreds of these. Uh just all of them blow me away. Even the way she's here. I mean, there you go. There's a recognizable figure.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah. Uh
Way to get Bob all worked up.
Let me just go back real quick
We'll
to
get you
make
started
sure
about soup.
I get them all because, like, even just what she has on her website doesn't even. I don't even know if that captures them all. There's so many. Between
Yeah.
two castles, viticulture,
Mm.
Verdant. It's. Oh yeah, there's some really cool stuff on World's
Well, it's
Fair
fair. I
too.
like that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
So
Great
yeah,
pick,
this
Mike.
was
Great pick.
a very
Yeah, I hadn't heard it. I
easy
really
pick for
noticed.
me. She just does such an incredible job of making things look like they are not painting. She did the art in Kites, Tim.
Hey, love that game.
But yeah, I'm just a massive fan. She is incredibly talented. And that is why they keep putting her art on box covers.
Yeah.
It just looks incredible.
Yeah. Oh, do you know Reed? Parker, do you know Reed?
Yeah, he's a
Sweet.
Yeah.
Small
See Reed in a
world.
couple of weeks.
Is Reed going to be at QSCon?
I'm not sure if he's going to be there.
Thanks.
Well, I hope
Oh,
but
you guys
he
are going to see him.
is.
You
in
suck.
Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys suck.
Oh,
I
duh.
love Reed so much. He's just one of my favorite people in the hobby.
Yeah. I
There
want
we
to
go.
play his card game he's coming out with again with the evolution of the cards where you evolve the cards.
Oh, okay.
Rim Beasts.
Yeah, Rune Beast.
I got you.
Yeah.
Reed, are you going to be at QSCon?
Yes, he is.
Says hell
He is?
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
assuming
but that might just be you guys.
sure.
Nobody's that excited to
No.
see me.
I,
Fair.
I remember these things.
Well, your
Oh,
kids
he'll be
were.
there.
I'm not sure how much you paid them.
No, yeah, he'll be there. Okay, cool. No, that's great. No, I love also what a small world this hobby is, right? You know, like Parker knows Reed. Um, yeah, great pick though, Mike. Wonderful
Yeah.
pick with the artwork.
Fine. Mike had a good pick.
I'm just now getting to her newly released stuff like Nocturne and Undergrove that's like
Yeah, I
just
didn't
now
realize that was the
coming
same
out.
person.
Yeah, she's pretty amazing.
Do you guys have any honorable mentions you want to hit before we
Yes.
bust out of
I
here?
do-
Because I know I
do.
do.
You guys hit on a couple of them, but one we didn't mention was he's been in the chat all night. Jim Cole, I think his
Yes.
art style lends itself so well, artist designer, to zombies. And I asked him today if he's ever tried to do like anything from Cthulhu or anything like that, because I think that style would lend itself well.
So he did some work for the World of Darkness role-playing game series from White Wolf.
Okay.
So I had actually known, so I would recognize Jim's work before from my old extra nerdy days when we were doing RPGs back in the late 90s.
I'd love to see him do like a Cthulhu or a King in Yellow or something. I think it'd be super cool.
Yeah, Jim's a badass artist.
Yep.
And then he may have even made us into a card in his game, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah,
I can't find that quickly.
Well, he probably doesn't showcase that one because it's got your mug on it, but you know.
Yeah, we don't want to make more people leave.
Well, he needed me to block out you guys.
He's trying to sell copies of his game, Mike.
Yeah. I will also let's mention Ammon Anderson, right?
Yeah.
Anybody knows Ammon? No, he did a lot of the artwork. He did have help, right? He did collaborate with somebody on Gnome Hollow, but he did a bunch of stuff for Gnome Hollow. Ammon again is just someone who I hate because he's so nice, he's so talented. He's very kind. I just hate him. Just hate him so much because it's like nobody should be as nice and as talented as you are. Not fair.
I got short stick.
He's such a sweet and gentle soul. I love him. Also, right, we should mention that this game that's coming out soon, Trash Dash, I do believe talked about in our video how we enjoyed the art, and we felt like the art was very conducive to the vibe of the gameplay and everything.
Absolutely.
Oh, that might be Parker Simpson, who is here right now with us.
Oh my!
Oh, crazy. You're here! Hey, no, we genuinely really loved it and appreciated it and thought it was very cool, and again contributed to the feel of the game as we're playing it, right?
Thank you guys, I appreciate that.
So again, no bullshit. Like we wouldn't say it if we weren't fans and didn't enjoy it. We would just awkwardly leave that hanging out there as a unmentioned.
Sure.
I
appreciate the love, though, guys.
No, 100%, man. You deserve it. You deserve it. It's again though, right? Like when Kim Breeze was talking to me about it, she's like, "Look up Trash Dash. Like you should talk to my friend Parker about this." And I immediately was like, "Yep." How hard am I going to have to bother him so that we can get to preview this game? And thankfully, it wasn't that hard. But I would have kept pestering you because I've been like, we really want to talk about this because we love racing games and I really like the art.
I'm glad it worked out. I am really happy to hear that you guys are into it. That's
No, and again, right? Like I think that we have demonstrated that we have this really wide and eclectic taste, not just in art, but in board games and in themes and styles. And you picking this topic was so exciting because it was very easy to talk about like all of these different things that we love. And again, to talk about the variety. Sam, you missed it. If you're just showing up, your Forges of Ravenshire showed up on my list as far as artists goes because of Andrea Radek and Liam Peters. I don't know what Liam Peters did for your game, so I apologize. I should have reached out to you about what he contributed to the art. But no, I mean, that's the amazing thing. And I'm really, it blows me away when people like you are able, Parker, to do the art for your game and design it, you know, and do that all in house. I imagine that's a wonderful skill to have because it saves you a ton of money.
Yeah.
Because you could pay yourself for the art. But very cool when you're able to do both of those things, pull it all together and make it into a cohesive and super fun super fun game. Yeah, Liam Peters, okay, did the main board, which I complimented and loved. And then he did all of Cult of the Deep, which I 100% absolutely adore that artwork. Yeah. But I tried to
a big print of that.
But I needed to go away from Cult of the Deep because of Richard Luong as my number one for Cthulhu Wars. So I needed to get away from like the culty. I wanted some variety. And yeah, Andrea they're both absolute badasses and did amazing artwork for your guys' games.
All right.
Any other honorable mentions, right? Vincent Dutray, right? Like his art.
Yeah, I was wondering. I figured he was going to pop up on somebody's list.
I left him off my list because I thought for sure he'd be on Mike's list, and I didn't want any crossover, and I didn't want any mainstream people.
That's fair. Yeah. Have y'all checked out Luthier from Parker Games?
I have only seen the artwork for it, but yeah. Dave Beck is just absolutely crushing it right now.
Yeah.
He's such a nice guy too. Yeah. Well, it's again, right? Like such a nice guy, seems to be just designing amazing games left and right. I hate him because he seems to be so talented yet so kind. It's terrible. Mike, did you have any honorable mentions?
I do. Let's stick with designer artists. And I am a big metalhead, so there are certain styles that are always going to get me. John DeCampos from Terrible Games. This was the first game that they made for Terrible Games. And I just really, really like his style a lot.
If you bring up that Black Mold cover, that's the one that really gets me. Like Black Mold.
Getting there.
Yeah, Black Mold's the one of his. And
let's relax. So this was their first Kickstarter, and you're like, okay, pretty cool character art. But then what actually got me even interested in his company was Black Mold. And this is an all grayscale game.
That's
and
gnarly.
Just that logo alone screams metal.
Oh yeah.
It just so happens he's also in a metal band. And just this art, and it's actually like it's a semi-co-op dungeon crawler. You're actually working through, and eventually you're probably going to end up taking each other out because somebody's got to make it out alive. Not everybody's going to.
One of the big premises, you're holding your breath and you're trying to solve these puzzles. While it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's there's nothing quite like this game, and this his style of art is what drew me to it in the first place, for sure.
Now I know he didn't do the art for Valka, but whoever the artist for Valka is also amazing.
Yeah, we can pull that one up real quick too. That is a Polish artist.
Yeah, you want to talk about like Polish metal, like death metal, like Valka definitely has that. That Norwegian, that Nordic death metal vibe to it.
Oh wow, yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, it's way out there. Super gonzo. I love it.
Yeah, so just all of their games so far have just had like very distinct styles to them. I actually got one of his shirts. I was looking for their logo that they have in their banner. I ended up buying a shirt of just their logo because I freaking love it so much. But yeah, John DeCampos, very talented dude. I was actually surprised that nobody mentioned Ryan Lockett.
Oh, Ryan Lockett is on my honorable mentions, as is Andrew Bosley, who did a lot of the Everdell artwork. Amongst other things. And then the only other deep cut I have is his name is Ido Valls. He did the Batoku art. If you could bring up Batoku, because that's a box cover that I think people will know when they see it.
Okay.
Yeah, that one is.
But that is a very cool art style and vibe that I really, really like. And he was sort of my first alternate in if one of mine got picked. But
say David Kirksey on the bottom there.
It does.
Probably solo mode.
Probably. But that art style, that is a box that I pick up and I look at and I go, oh shit, what is this? I just love that style, that vibe and everything. But
good stuff.
Yeah, I think the last on my honorable mentions is Cam Kindle. He did the artwork for Rocket Ranchers, which was a recent Kickstarter. Another like cutesy, cartoony vibe. But the game's got all your herding cats in space, but you're collecting a bunch of other different types of space critters, and all of the artwork for the critters is just fantastic.
Really good. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I love the little. That's actually probably one of my screenshots because I played it before it released and I posted it. Hey. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, he's the good boy. But yeah, lots of really cool art in that game, like super vibrant and punchy.
Love it.
Yeah. I think he also has done a few Lorcana cards as well.
Nice.
I believe
that would make sense.
Which ones, but yeah,
that would make sense.
Hey, 5 Minute Mystery. I played that. That's pretty good.
That's really good.
Disney Lorcana.
Yeah.
There it is.
Lorcana was on there. You were right.
Yeah. Sweet.
Well, Parker, what an incredible topic. I've got bad news for you because when we have you on again, you're going to have to find a way to top this.
You just talk about Star Wars all night, man.
Oh, all right. You did it.
Give the people
you did it.
All right. So next week.
Parker, please come back and join us again on a future show.
This was great, man. This was great.
This was very cool. It was very nice to get to actually hang out with you and just talk about shit we love and enjoy.
Yeah.
Thank you again so much for trusting us with Trash Dash. We genuinely, and spoiler alert for the video, enjoyed this game and are really excited to talk about it. We'll be excited to share it with you guys.
I appreciate you guys being kind to my baby.
No. Hey, if we didn't like it, we would just been like, hey, where can we send this? We would.
Yeah. I can take constructive criticism, but I'm really glad that you guys enjoyed it. It's wacky, it's chaotic, but for the right crowd,
you named my two favorite game mechanics, wacky and chaotic. So, but no, man, thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us. This is not always easy to do, to come on and do a live stream with people you don't know super well, and everything. And so it's not lost on us, what it takes. And we do appreciate that, man. And, but yeah, it was a really good time. I love getting to talk about this stuff. And there's one of our buddies, Donnie. Can't wait to see you.
Lurking, Donnie.
Can't wait to see you in a couple weeks, Donnie. You're not going to get to lurk when I see you in person. But Parker, man, thank you so much. Really, I genuinely appreciate it. I hope you will come on again.
I had a really good time, and I hope that the viewers enjoyed it, and whoever comes back and rewatches it and stuff, I hope people get some value out of it. And it's a lot of fun. Yeah,
always exciting too to get to dive into topics with people that are way more knowledgeable about it than me, so that I can just look like the bumbling idiot, and then people that actually know stuff about design and art can actually break it down on a technical aspect.
Yeah.
It's I like it because it has pretty colors.
It looks good.
Yeah. But no, man, you've been delightful. I'm really glad you came on to do this with us. So please come on again in the future. We'll ask you pick a topic, pick a date.
I'll have more games to promote, so I will definitely be back around to hang out.
Oh, damn, that's terrible. That's just the worst thing ever. And then Mike. Go on.
For folks who are interested in my games and my artwork, like I said, Trash Dash launching on Kickstarter on the 17th, and Disgraced House is currently on pre-orders up to I think the second week of September is when we're cutting the pre-orders.
So Mike will have those links for you in the chat, and we will probably, if we're super cool, we'll throw them in the video description after it's been up.
They're already in the description.
Yeah, hell yeah. Mike is doing work over there. He may be clicking on shit he's not supposed to, but he's also doing the Lord's work by making sure that we are promoting the stuff we're supposed to promote. But we wouldn't promote it if we weren't excited about it. So
I truly appreciate the enthusiasm, and as a first time indie creator, the word of mouth and the buzz is super crucial to getting where I need to go.
Parker, if you ever have a project going on and we haven't reached out, do not hesitate to go, hey man, I got a thing coming out soon. Would you guys have a slot? Because the answer is yes. We'd love to have you on. That is what's up. That's what I love about this hobby, is getting to know designers and artists and creators, and just getting to be excited about their stuff. Because if there's one thing that we're good at, it's enthusiasm, and we are legitimate with it. We can't draw worth a lick, but we can get really hyped up about other people's stuff.
It's all good. And y'all had some really good picks, so you at least know what you're talking about in terms of
sometimes.
Good taste. So
but anyways, thank you, Mike and Bob. Thank you, everybody that watched. I know I was gone last week. I was in an undisclosed location for undisclosed reasons, but I can't wait. In a month, I'll get to share why I was gone, and it'll be a really fun and cool and exciting story, which now you have to wait to find out why.
Mike,
but anyways, for the board game rundown, I've been Tim.
I was Bob.
There we go.
I was Mike.
Yes.
And I'm the trash man.
He's the trash man. He gets in there and he just starts throwing trash everywhere.
Everywhere.
He's the trash man. Beep, up, 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 beep, up, up. That was the scat man. Same thing.
Hit us with it, Mike.
We'll see you guys.
We knew it.
A 7.3 repeating. Heating.